Hold on. I'm going to try to trace it back. I'm so tired. I'm now drunk. Haven't eaten enough today. Choked on the cannellini bean.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Hi.
Hi.
Holy shit, she did it.
You did it. Are you wrapped? You're done?
No.
Oh.
No, I mean, I was just today. I'm just done for today.
Okay. How many more days?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Are you pouring a bev?
I am. Are they advertising on the pod this week?
Yes.
Oh, well, fantastic. A tie-in, a natural tie-in. Guys, it's cocktail time for me. No, we actually just have 2 more days. We were supposed to be finished.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But nobody ever finishes on time unless it's like,
well, you do.
live.
I've actually always finished.
Oh, really?
Shooting. Yeah, pretty much always, I think. But, well, no, not White Chicks, but TV shows, I feel like I have had. Maybe you're right. Now I'm second guessing everything.
Well, I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong. In my experience, usually the principal people are probably wrapped on time, and then you like hold everything back for like people that aren't the main people. But probably now in the time of COVID and where things are like more complicated and there are less non-principal people, probably it just extends to everyone where it's likely you'd go a little over.
I will say that, yeah, we definitely had the COVID situation at hand because we had to, we basically took, nope, don't worry about that. But we did have to take, I unplugged my, of course. One of these days, I'm going to get it all fucking figured out. Here's what's going to be nice. When I am finished with this job.
Yeah.
And I get a few more items of furniture in this place, the office apartment with the good light.
The apartment that's an office.
Becky with the good light. We should call her because it's like she's like my side piece.
Yeah, I don't know if Becky's not a hero. We might want to call her something else.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, I was just more talking about with good something. X.
Yeah, good.
Apartment with the good light. Anyway, hopefully the new house will have good light as well, but we don't know yet because we don't live there because it's not finished being constructed.
Let me ask you a question though. Did you not go to the house?
No, it has great light.
Okay.
I'm just being a little comedy biz, you know?
Okay. All right. Okay. Because that is one thing that I think sometimes people don't think about when they're buying a place or renting a place. But I usually have to go by in the morning, I go by in the afternoon, and then I go by at nighttime.
Well, as we discussed, oh no. I'm choking on nothing.
You're choking on nothing. You have a frog in your throat.
No, this was from earlier today. I actually legit choked on like a cannelli bean.
Cannellini? Is that what it's called?
Bean.
Yeah.
You know like how the skin of a bean in a soup comes off?
Yes.
Okay, the skin of a bean came off of my soup earlier, and I was in the midst of showing Meredith Scardino that tweet about the scammers that you sent me about the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency people that the DOJ just like indicted on all this fraud, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was showing her that, and I was about to just be real emphatic about it, except like the skin of some cannellini beans that was from my soup just stopped my throat. And I was like, oh no, this is how I die.
Yeah.
And then I thought, am I too close? is the game trying to take me out?
I mean, I don't know that the game could arrange to have you choke on a bean skin. I think that would take a level of organization that these folks didn't have because they quickly got caught at their scam. But bean skins really are like a junior varsity popcorn hull. They will fucking kill you.
They will fuck a bitch up, as they did today. Listen, lingering effects.
Yeah, they always go behind like my back teeth, which is really gross.
I think that what happened was possibly that, and then I like inhaled and it just flew.
Yeah. I have to be really careful with raw carrots. I don't know why, but whatever like the specific weight of a chewed carrot I will either choke on it or it will go up into my nose and then I'll have to like shoot a piece of raw carrot out of my nose. I think they're like really hazardous and carrots should probably have a warning label on them.
Well, the most ill I ever got was from when my mom tried to poison me with the rotten baby carrots.
Oh, what?
Okay,
she gave you old baby carrots?
Well, it was many, many, many moons ago. Many, 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 many moons ago. I'm going to say 16 years ago, Christmas.
Okay.
It's still fresh in my memory like it was yesterday. And it was actually the first time that Mark and I had just started dating, I think, and he came with me to my parents' house and I had really talked up Christmas. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I know your family like doesn't like really get down for holidays, but like Christmas at my house is the place to be. And like, but as it is with my mother, sometimes you never know like when this is going to happen, where she's going to say something like, well, I've decided to give up on Christmas this year. You know what I mean? And like, then I'm like, oh, okay. It's just biz. You guys are, and by the way, to be fair to Barbara Phillips, neither one of us were like married or had our own kids yet. We were just like people that were older and not even that much fun. My sister and I.
Probably like dipped out sometimes to do whatever you want.
To like go to bars and meet our friends, right? So anyway, so that was that year. And I remember being a little bit like, wah, wah. But it was fine. The snow babies were still out, although at that time there were not, the 300 plus that there exists today or whatever. And I remember like there was just my mom was just in one of those phases where like, I don't know what was happening, if she was doing some meal delivery diet or I don't know, or shakes or something. I don't know. There was no food in the house other than like the items specifically purchased to just make like Christmas Eve dinner and Christmas dinner. Other than that, no food. And so I remember it like 1:30 or 2 p.m. on Christmas Day being like very, very hungry. And my mom saying like, well, I don't know, Elizabeth, just look. I don't know what I have. And there was a bag of baby carrots and I was like, is this, can I have these baby carrots? And my mom was like, well, did they look okay? And I was like, they look like a bag of baby carrots. And she's like, I'm sure they're fine.
Right.
I ate most of the bag of baby carrots. And then I put them back in the fridge. That night, Mark was walking me back. Mark and I were staying in a hotel because my parents like don't have a house that, and he and I were just dating, whatever.
Yeah.
We never stay with my parents. What am I even saying? It's not, their house isn't big enough to say. Anyway, the point being.
Yeah.
We're walking back to our hotel room. Like we leave my parents' house. We're walking back to my hotel room. And I'm like, I feel real bad all of a sudden.
Oh no.
And then I went and I laid down. And by the way, I do want to say this, and I just got to preface it with all of this. I wasn't diagnosed. This was right before my diagnosis of IBS and spastic colon. So I was having issues. I was having issues with my stomach.
Sure.
Because later that month, or maybe like the next week, I don't even remember, that was when Mark and I went to Las Vegas to meet his family, like where they were going on vacation to Vegas, weirdly, for like a few days. And so, because they're on the East Coast, obviously. And so we like met them there so that he could see them. And that was like after the Cirque du Soleil show, this is where, oh God, this is literally like the first 6 months of my relationship with Mark, by the way, so we're walking back to the hotel Christmas night and I'm like, don't feel well. And then I ended up throwing up basically the entire rest of the evening. The next day we went back to my mom's house. My memory fails me. He'll remember if we went back to the house or if my mom looked, but the carrots had expired in June of the previous, like of that year. But like,
sure. Yeah. 6 months, 6 months prior.
Their use by date was June. This was December 25th.
Yeah.
So anyway, we often refer to it as the time my mom tried to poison me with carrots. But then after that, went to Las Vegas, saw Cirque du Soleil, and that night was the night that I literally was like, oh my God, I'm shitting straight blood, like in a ton of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess I gotta, because the guy that I dated before Mark, like my boyfriend before Mark,
he didn't like shit blood?
No, he didn't like pooping at all. And he was like a secret pooper. He like wouldn't poop. And we went out for like, we knew each other forever. And like, we went out for a long time sequentially too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he still like would not acknowledge that it was happening or that I like, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
Mark and I had been going out like maybe 7 months at this. Our relationship was as old as the baby carrots is basically what I'm is basically what I'm saying. And I was like in the bathroom in this hotel, like this nice hotel room at like the Wynn or something, 24 years old, 24, 25 years old. And I'm shitting straight blood nonstop. And I'm like, I guess I gotta just tell this guy that not only do I shit, but it is straight blood and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I called my mom from the bathroom. I remember calling my mom from the bathroom and she's like, busy, you have to go to the hospital. And I was like, I don't know if I have to go to the hospital. Anyway, so I ended up telling Mark and then he was like, I think you need a doctor. And I was like, I didn't get one in Las Vegas. I went home back to LA.
No shade to Las Vegas.
No.
I'm sure.
No, I'm sure they're fine. It wasn't like a, it was, yeah. But anyway, lots of gastrointestinal stories right here in the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
Yeah, right. I mean,
right off the bat.
You're looking to shit your wedding dress. That first time of your relationship was just full of.
No, because I did go back to LA. I went and got a colonoscopy. I was 25, got my first colonoscopy, was diagnosed with IBS and spastic colon, went to this old school doctor at Cedars. And he was like, well, this is the medication that you're going to be on now for the rest of your life. It's like IBS.
Yeah.
I have IBS. Do they literally call it D? I think so.
Okay.
Or C. Yeah. C or D, constipation or diarrhea. So I have IBS-D. Gotcha. You should just take this medication for the rest of your life. I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's just medication just stops you up. And I was like, that doesn't seem like the move, sir.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you can continue being uncomfortable and having these symptoms. And I was like, yeah, there's got to be something else. And I am truly, I am into the Western medicine,
Yeah, sure.
Pro-vax. Yeah. Whatever. But occasionally I do think there are things that you have to examine the whole of it, Yeah. And so I went to this.
Don't just put a Band-Aid on your butthole.
That's right. That's right, Caissie.
Yeah.
Your colon.
Your colon, yeah.
My spastic colon. And I was like, of course my colon is spastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I went to an allergist and he did all of these tests and essentially narrowed it down to 3 things that he thought I was very, very sensitive to. And then had me do an elimination diet for 3 months. And his thing, and I just want to say this because who knows, maybe I'm not a doctor. Do your own fucking research. But I do think this is an interesting theory, an interesting idea, which is that the way that Stuart Lanson Dr. Stu Lanson, who I think is no longer practicing, just because he retired, not because he like got driven out of the allergy biz. How he explained allergies to me is that there are different kinds of allergies. Obviously, there are environmental, there are chemical, and then there are food. And what ends up happening is that allergies are cumulative in your system. And so if you have like a sensitivity to an item, like let's say, I have a sensitivity to black pepper. Okay. So I have a sensitivity to black pepper. Now, if I go to a restaurant and they're like, do we have any allergies at the table? I don't have to say I'm allergic to black pepper. But if I order a cacio e pepe, I'm going to have a reaction. Like I'm going to have a spastic colon IBS situation. You know what I mean? Because it's just too much. My body gets overloaded with it. And often what he was saying, which I think is so interesting, is that all of the allergies in your system, like whether it's environmental, chemical, or food, they all sort of like are in the same bucket. So if that bucket gets filled up and you're overwhelmed, like you live in a place that has a lot of environmental factors, like in Los Angeles, and a lot of chemical factors, like in Los Angeles, and then your food is going to be the place where you like, it puts you over the edge. So whatever it is, the thing that puts you over the edge, it almost is like you can have all of these different sensitivities. People obviously have real allergies as well, where it's like anaphylaxis and whatever. But I just thought that was so interesting and a thing that I never had considered before. And now as I've lived these many, many years since then, I notice that if all of those things are sort of activated, then I can't even have black pepper on like a salad. You know what I mean? Like I have to, or gluten. Wheat is one that really affects me. Or maltodextrin. Guys, come on.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I obviously firmly believe that we're sensitive to things. I don't know if I'm sensitive to gluten or to wheat. It seems like wheat. I don't know. I haven't even really looked into it that much, if anything else makes gluten besides wheat. But
yeah, because I think oats can.
Do they? I don't even know.
Because you can get oats that are not gluten-free oats.
Oh, but
they're
does that just mean
wheat-free.
does that just mean that they're processed in a facility that also has gluten? Or does it mean that the oats have gluten themselves? I don't know. I should ask. I actually know a person who could find this out so easily. But I will say that every time I eat bread, I sneeze my fucking head off.
Yeah.
And
I know all about it.
It's not just psychological. Someone pointed it out to me. Someone who actually had celiac disease was like, oh, every time you apologize to me for eating a piece of pizza in front of me, you sneeze 55 times after you eat it. And so, yeah, and it's true. I get really itchy nose, really itchy eyes, sneeze forever. And once she helped me put that together, I stopped having a bagel in the morning. And then I stopped sneezing so many times that everyone on the train from Connecticut to New York wanted to kick me off the train. So there you go. I've also shit blood in my life, but I did it from endometriosis, not from IBS.
Oh, wow. Well, guys, what a welcome. Welcome to this week.
Yeah, there's so many things you can choke on and or expel from your downstairs that are just really gross, but also really normal.
I think we just should normalize all of the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that like the pooping conversation, let me just tell you this.
Yeah.
Like bless Oprah for so many reasons. And I know like Opes can be controversial in some ways to certain people or whatever, blah, blah. I will never be anti or against. I mean, she's like such a trailblazer in so many ways, but she really was the first woman to talk about like what's going on when you poop on national television to like every person watching. And it had such a huge impact on me. And like, it was like a kind of maybe around the same time. Like I just remember growing up, like not talking about that and thinking that that was like, oh God, I can't even talk about my like, stomach issues or whatever, you know, being so embarrassed by it. And similar to like how I've talked to Birdie about their period and like Cricket about periods, like, I don't know, like it just is a part of being human, and there's no shame in being human. And the more shame you put on humanness, the more shame you have to carry. And people carry so much about everything anyway. It's like, at least let's eliminate the shitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I get it that like certain things are private and like there's no reason to unnecessarily belabor your shits with people in your life. But
guys, we don't have to post it to Facebook, but I am just saying.
Exactly.
I'm saying like, that like endometriosis, like a lot of issues that affect women's reproductive systems, out of like a fear, a shame, and like being uncomfortable not having the language to talk about it, you know, women have literally died. And I just feel like, I don't know, if there's something going on, like you should be able to like verbalize it. And some things are within the realm of normal. You know what I mean? Like, and you need to be able to like understand that as well, which is why, I mean, Oprah, I remember that episode so well, and why I think it's so important, you know? Yeah, I agree. We don't need to belabor it. And sometimes I get like, grossed out, especially like Cricket really goes for the humor, the potty humor.
Well, that's just her age, but also like I'm not above laughing at potty humor. So, you know, I think, listen, read the room, right? When you're going for a little potty humor, you got to read the room. We don't know. Everyone listening to this podcast could have thrown up like 5 times already. The room is hard to read when we're here pre-recording this.
I live in June. I live in June. I live in June. Hi, my babies. It's me, Busy Phillips. You know how much I love Olive in June. And you know how much Caissie and I both love the Manny system, and how we've both benefited from having beautiful salon perfect nails at home. I'm just going to encourage you, if you haven't tried it yet, you should check it out. The Olive in June Manny system is freaking amazing. With the Manny system, you treat yourself to beautiful nails all year long. The nail polishes last 7+ days, do not chip. People will ask you where you get your nails painted. My favorite thing is the myriad of colors that Olive in June makes for their nail polish. It really does. It really goes on perfectly. And I think I told this story before, but when I was back in Arizona over the holidays, I just went and bought some nail polish at the store that I realized when I was painting my nails, not the same experience as what I have with Olive in June. Like, so having the comparison was shocking to me. All the tools you need come in the box, one box. The Manny system is so easy, and it comes with Poppy. It's that little brush handle thing. You pop it on top of the brush of the nail polish color you're using, and it makes it easy. It kind of steadies your hand so you can paint with your non-dominant hand. You can paint the other hand, your dominant hand, I guess. Anyway, guys, it's a game changer. Get the Olive in June Manny system, 6 polishes. It breaks down to just $2 a Manny. Getting beautiful salon perfect nails at home is now a dream come true. With Olive in June, we've been talking about it for so long. We love them so much. Your new nail life is here. Visit oliveandjune.com/busy for 20% off your first Manny system. That's oliveandjune.com/busy for 20% off your first Manny system. We love it so much. We know you are going to too. So if you've been listening to the show consistently, you've heard us talk about how much we love our Helix mattresses. We're obsessed with it. Change the way we sleep, change the way we rest, change how much rest we're getting. That's why we're so excited to tell you that Helix has left the bedroom and started making sofas. That's right. They just launched a new company. It's called Allform. They're already making literally the best sofas in the game. What makes them so great? For one, it's the easiest way you can customize a sofa using premium materials and at a fraction of the cost of traditional stores. Two, you get to pick your fabric and it's spill, stain, and scratch resistant. Gina, don't even try it. Or try it, I guess, because you're not going to do anything. You get to pick the sofa color of the legs, the sofa size, and the shape to make sure it's perfect for you and your home. They have armchairs and love seats, and then they make all the way up to an 8-seat sectional. So honestly, if your house is that big, bless your heart. But there's literally something for everyone. You can always start small and then you can buy more pieces, more seats later on and add them in, which is amazing and makes it so great. So you don't have to like buy a new sofa if you move from one apartment or one house to a new apartment or another house, which is fantastic. Allform sofas are made to grow and change with you when you move. And they're also delivered directly to your home with fast, free shipping. In the past, I don't know about you, I've tried to order sofas and then they're like, okay, so you'll see that in, 8 months. And you're like, wait, what? And then you would need someone to like come and like assemble it for you and help you. Allform takes no time to arrive in the mail and you assemble it yourself in a few minutes. No tools needed. For me, that's the big one because I can never find tools. It's really big and roomy. We love ours. It's in my office. It's super cozy and everybody gravitates toward it. And honestly, the price is very reasonable. You know, if getting a sofa without trying it in a store sounds sketch to you, which at this point it shouldn't because I don't know who's even going into stores at this point. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep it. That's more than 3 months. If you don't love it, Allform will come and pick it up for free and they give you a full refund. They even offer a forever warranty, literally forever. So go find your perfect sofa. Check it out at allform.com/best. And Allform is now offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/best. Well, listen. It's been a big week and we have a guest today, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Because, guys, if you, like we, have been following along on this NFT / crypto / Bitcoin journey, perhaps you know that, like, it's gaining steam in terms of like people discussing it and it being out there. How do we even get into this, Caissie? How, like, you lead me in because you're produce this, please, for me.
Well, I mean, we've just been noticing. So I'm sure you've heard it from us, and I'm sure if you're online, you've heard it. And it started out with like bros, right? Like guys, like tech guys.
Tech
now
bros.
It's sort of tech bros. Yeah. And now it's sort of spreading to just like general celebrities in general, talking about crypto and putting money into NFTs. And, you know, crypto has been around for a while. We've been trying to figure out what it is for a while. And not so successfully, probably because, you know, not a lot of people knew and people are doing their best to explain it and probably not doing a great job in a lot of instances. So now we're in a place where lay people that don't invest or people that aren't big into tech kind of know what crypto is. And it just seems like a lot of celebrities have been getting into it. And then, you know, it enters the territory of pop culture, which is something that we pay attention to. And so we were kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening? Like, it just seemed weird because celebrities don't talk a great deal about investing ever. That's not something I've ever seen someone do, go on a talk show and talk about their investment portfolio. And we know celebrities have those. So we were kind of like, what is happening? And why is this happening? And why are the people who are doing it doing it? And so we reached out to talk to somebody who has like a whole podcast about it, Matt Binder.
And the podcast is called Scam Economy. Scam is in the title of the podcast, guys, because it is. Let me be very fucking clear about how I feel about this. This is a fucking scam. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a fucking scam. And anyone who's trying to fucking sell it to you is full of shit and is way richer than you will ever fucking be. And they're like counting on you being a fucking sucker. I'm sorry. I got so mad about it today, Caissie, that like I almost was like, I can't see straight. And I feel truly like I got to write some like actual personal emails to people. I feel like
interesting.
No,
okay.
I really feel this way. I feel like this is like fucking dangerous and fucked up. Because this is a time, oh no, I'm going to cry. This is a time in our world where people are really fucking struggling to put food on the fucking table for their families. And so for these people who like, and I love so much of like the celebrities in question who are like pushing NFTs on us. I love so much of the stuff that they do. And I think so much of it is like great. And like fucking changing the game and changing the system and taking power back and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And you know what this is? Fucking bullshit. And this is like such a scam that is going to hurt people and cost them money that they don't have. And so while it's well and good for fucking Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon to sit on his fucking talk show and talk about their NFTs and everyone in the audience gets an NFT, what's not fucking good are the people down the line that are going to lose the shirts off their backs. That's not okay. Not now, not ever, but especially not fucking now. And like, and like, when you follow that chain and the CAA connection, and by the way, full disclosure, guys, the agency I'm represented at now, currently, maybe not after today, ICM is like currently doing a merger with CAA. So I effectively will be represented by CAA. But this is, to me, so fucking egregious and so disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm so fucking done. You just get richer and richer and richer. And I ask you, Caissie, to what end?
I don't know. I'm also represented by ICM, which I'm just mentioning in case anyone wants to get in touch with anyone about me to hire me
to hire you. No, I get it.
But after today, who knows? After all of this, who knows what will be the case? I understand. Here's the way that I understand, and I've been trying to put this in perspective. First of all, there's a lot of celebrities, really big celebrities, that are talking about crypto and NFTs and
Web3.
Web3. And I want to say that maybe it's that they don't understand it either. Maybe someone slick talked to them and convinced them that this is like the greatest thing, and they didn't, because I've been in that position before where someone's sold me on an idea that I'm like, yes, that sounds great.
Like
and I
ivermectin, like ivermectin. Is that a thing?
No,
that's not a thing. Because why wouldn't you go for ivermectin, Caissie? If somebody was convincingly telling you, if somebody was an expert, quote unquote, and telling you why ivermectin is the fucking thing, why wouldn't you go for it?
Well, I would ask more questions.
Sure. And then also, would you go towards the majority of scientists, the majority of
Right.
people in the field and their opinion on it. I'm sorry I'm getting so mad, guys. I'm sorry my
No,
tone is
you're very- yeah,
very
no.
unpleasant.
It's okay. It's okay. It's worth getting, also actor Ben McKenzie has been sort of from the OC, who we love him from the OC, Ryan Atwater, and from many other things. He's been in lots of great things. I just love him from the OC, but he's been tweeting about like, guys, like, I think this is not right. I think this is something that is not right. We shouldn't be doing this. So to be fair, there are, actors on both sides of the issues. I think it's so funny that we're talking about.
No, there's not. There's like me and Ben McKenzie who are like,
and that's it.
Kind of like former teen stars. Do you know what I mean? And then there's like the biggest fucking celebrities in the world that are like on their huge television platform, TV shows, huge platforms of like 47 million followers on Instagram and Twitter combined that are like, this is the future. This is the future.
Right.
Invest in this. No, what we are, Ben McKenzie and I are like on the same fucking level. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We're like moderately successful television actors,
Right.
But we are able to recognize when something smells off, and we are able to be like, hey, guess what? This is truly fucked that other people in our industry, an industry built of creatives and people who like want to put good stuff into the world and want to change the game and like want to help and want to do good things. Like, this is fucked up that these people are getting sucked in by like a get-rich-quick Ponzi scheme that is going to be to the detriment of their fans and the people that root for them and the people that love them. It is so fucked.
Yeah, I think here's what I want to say. I do want to say that here's what I understand about money and the economy. And I don't understand a great deal about it. I'm not an economist. I'm not a financial expert. But I do understand that money is a construct. So we go back to the beginning of the United States when people first came and stole this country from indigenous people that were here. And they started building whatever, their homesteads and farming and things like that. And then we introduce money into a society, and all it is that it's a paper, it's a token. Like we're being told about NFTs are non-fungible tokens. So a dollar bill is just a piece of paper, and a nickel is just a little minted piece of metal. And actually, so much of our economy and our finances are just theoretical. It's like figures being zipped back and forth between banks and accounts, and it's not even actual physical dollars, like coupons that people are using to trade for beans or purses or shoes or what have you, going way back to the beginning of history. What is most confusing to me about NFTs is they're not really goods or services. So they do
take a lot of energy.
They do take a lot of energy.
They waste a lot of energy in this climate crisis.
Yes. And so that was the most interesting thing that we talked about with this guy, Matt Binder, is just like, what exactly are NFTs and like, what's the value to someone who's interested in purchasing one, and what can they hope for when they own an NFT. And so that's been the hardest part to wrap my head around, because I understand I give you $50 for a pair of shoes, and then I get the pair of shoes, and then, I have a good in exchange for my construct of money and how much of that construct I possess or whatever. But NFTs, I was really confused about. So he sort of cleared some of that up for me.
But also, it only exists, the value of the thing only exists as long as you can convince another fucking sucker that it's worth that much.
Right. And we just don't know where the future of this is going.
Caissie, you're just being too diplomatic. I'm sorry, you are. You're just being too like, and we don't know. You're hedging, and the truth is, it's not a hedge. It's not a fucking hedge. It's going nowhere. It's not speculation. It's what these people are doing. It's manipulation, and it's like Amway. It's Amway on steroids. It's like it's a pyramid scheme on fucking steroids. Except I don't know. In Amway, did you get something?
Yes, Amway, you got products. Like whether
you got
or not
products.
they did.
Like you just get. In this, you don't get anything.
When I'm saying we don't know which way this is going, I mean, I don't know. As Matt told us, and you'll hear in the interview, only 32,000 people maximum have crypto wallets, according to him. So that's not even like the size of a small town. You know what I mean?
Maybe should we just stop talking about it?
No, not at all. But what I'm saying is my hope is that people will see Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton talking about this thing and kind of see it for what it is. Like, it's something that's not for me. I don't have $250,000 to buy a Bored Ape NFT. And so, like, hopefully this thing will rather quickly resolve to what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, hopefully people just won't put money in it because people can't afford it. I can't afford to put $250,000 into an imaginary cartoon that I don't even really own, you know, and I don't know that I would put $100 into an NFT if there was one that cost $100. I'm sure there are. So it is my hope that like wealthy people are speculatively investing in this, but my hope is kind of that regular people who aren't so wealthy are just like, I mean, I don't know what they're talking about and I'm not doing this. And then pretty soon it would fizzle out.
Right. But it's right. Okay.
Like I sent you that thing about those people, like what are they? $3.6 billion of crypto that they like they hacked and like scammed, or these people that are being indicted, they received the scammed funds, but someone else hacked and stole $3.6 billion worth of crypto. But then I saw, you know, already people started with the jokes. They were like, it's 3.6 billion now, but tomorrow it'll be 1.2 billion. And then the day after that, it'll be $8. And then the next day it'll be 10 billion. Like that's how volatile the worth of crypto is. But I also just think it's like, I think it's wild, and I think that people probably only understand it as good as we understand it.
It's not real, and the trick is, I mean, it's a little bit like if you don't know, it's a little bit like musical chairs.
Yeah. Somebody loses
because you know what?
Always.
Because you know what? You better fucking hope that there's a chair for you to sit on when the music stops. But honestly, chances are, prob's not.
Or that you're eventually going to lose. Yeah. I mean, Matt says all this in the interview. He said something that made a lot of sense to me, which is, you know, he criticizes crypto, he criticizes NFTs, and people say, what? That's not true. I made money off of it. And he said, yes, people make money off of scams. That's why they do them. The thing that worries me, honestly, here is that people might think that they're doing a thing that's not that bad, not realizing that, like, somebody has to lose in order for them to win, you know? And so that's a bummer of a thing.
Well, I guess
you know?
I guess the question you have to ask yourself, are you a person who believes in being just out for themselves? Or are you a person that believes that like life is about more than that?
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it's really good that we're like having this conversation and that people are having this conversation more. They're like, oh, this is a thing that isn't going away, even though we had been ignoring it or whatever. And so, you know, so it's interesting. I mean, I also kind of feel like everything is a scam in a way.
Everything's a scam.
So I'm sort of like, I understand. It's funny. It's like when people get mad at a business and they're like, this product is a scam. It's not worth the money that I paid. Well, yeah, of course it's not. It's like it costs less money to make it than you paid for it. That's how business works because someone else made it for you and then you get it. And, but NFTs are unique in that they're just doesn't seem to me to be a product or service exchanged. And so
because there's not.
Because there's not. And so that's the part that's most interesting to me.
And also like when we discussed last week, like how creepy it was that the conversation between, and by the way, we're specifically bringing up the conversation between Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon, but I am not here for fucking Brie Larson or Reese Witherspoon or Gwyneth Paltrow or any other big celebrity like changing their avatar profile pic or trying to put like NFTs out into or Justin Bieber, like any of this bullshit. I'm just not here for it. I'm not here for it.
I hope it turns out to be like when all the celebrities did the Imagine video at the beginning of the pandemic and everyone was like, that wasn't helpful. That wasn't helpful. And it just like, it really faded away rather quickly. And everyone was just like, yeah, our bad. We shouldn't have done that.
I would like to believe that that's true.
I would like to believe, yeah.
The Imagine video was like cringy and like bad, but like no one like lost their home.
Nobody profited from it. It just was like,
it was just like a bad thing. It was like,
and it was just
not
unhelpful.
helpful. It was unhelpful.
Yeah.
And also like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, and I guess, and like, this is the thing. It's like, we keep trying to find comparisons, right? Like we keep trying to say,
and there really
this is
no
like this is like
right.
that. This is like this.
Yeah.
This is like that. This is like The Big Short.
Yeah.
Except
there's no
comparison.
Exactly.
There's no comparison. Right. Except that the rich people are gonna get richer.
Yeah.
And really, maybe it is like the Hunger Games, like Birdie said to me.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it just doesn't seem like a sound investment. It doesn't seem like a sound investment from a business perspective, but also it just doesn't seem like the kind of thing that I would want to invest my money in, knowing that the goal was to pump up the value. So even if I profited down the line, someone's going to bust. And I don't want my money to be in the chain of that. Not that I have any money to put in that chain.
You circle that right there, because that's the most important soundbite from it. All of me being like salaciously like, fuck those bitches. Like maybe that might get like a People Mag headline. But what you just said is the fucking real. That's the truth. And it bums me out. It just bums me out. And I want better for all of us. I really do.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. Well, here's the bummer. And I know that I am jokingly saying like, let people who are in debt make an NFT for you and you buy it. It's just that people keep cloaking it in this, like it's going to equalize everything. It's going to lift people out of debt. And I haven't heard anyone successfully explain or believably explain to me how that's going to happen. And it's kind of a bummer just to see people putting so much energy into something when, it would be pretty easy to lift someone out of debt if you wanted to, even to relieve some of their debt if you wanted to. And I'm not saying nobody has to do that. Nobody has to do that. Like what people do with their money and their lives and what they put their energy into is their business. But I just think that, we keep talking about these things and how we're going to tackle these issues when it's pretty fucking simple. Like if somebody needs money, somebody with a lot of money should like give it to them.
Also, if you're a fucking bitch that talks about how the environment is like important and a thing that you love, and then you're changing your profile pic to an NFT, go fuck yourself. Okay? And People Mag, feel free to use that as your goddamn headline.
Oh my gosh! But
With that, maybe we should like let's go to the expert. Should we go to the expert?
Let's go to the Sure.
And
Sure.
talk, I mean, he's not even an expert. He's like a dude who is an investigative journalist who also was doing another podcast that was like, wait, what is, they were getting so many questions, so many like emails, so much listener comments about NFTs and crypto that he was like, well, I guess this is what I really should be doing. And he did this new podcast called Scam Economy.
It's a podcast that Busy even listens to, so you have to know that it's interesting.
Well, I've been listening to it because. And I think this is an important part of this. And now I have deja vu, but whatever. If you have a feeling in your gut, okay, about anything, guys, at home, anything, you're like something about your kid, something about your friend, something about yourself, something about the guy that you went out on a date with. You have a gut feeling about something. Like, see it through, figure it out, follow your gut, because that is the thing that we have. You know what I mean? And if you ignore that, the more that we suppress those feelings, the less likely you are to have them. And my feeling about this thing has been so fucking rotten from the jump. So yeah, Caisie's right. I hate podcasts. I don't like listening to them. I almost don't like doing this one, except that I really enjoy talking to Caissie because I love her so much, and I like hearing from you guys what you're like. You're like, I vacuumed my floor while listening to you today, like whatever it is. I do enjoy that. I enjoy the sense of community because, as we learned on Emergency Pod, the secret to all of life is that we all just want to belong and we want to be in a group, a grouping of people.
Yes.
We want to feel, Anyway,
you would like to have that sense of community without worrying that your recorder's recording.
Correct. But like, what are we? Here we are. You know what I mean? But that being said, so I don't fuck with podcasts that much. And occasionally Mark loves to get down with a podcast. I have other friends love to get down with a podcast, and they will listen to said podcast, and then they will give me the like Cliff's Notes version of the podcast. And I will be like, great. I don't have to listen to that podcast. I'm so glad that you told me what happened on that podcast. So I don't have to listen to it. But in this case, this cryptocurrency scam economy, NFT fucking bullshit, I was like, I want to know, because I have a gut feeling that this is incredibly damaging. And a further wedge is being driven. And like in this exact moment in history, when you and I have like talked so much about what is it going to take? What is it going to take? How do we do this thing? How do we like get people to have conversations, to be on the same page? What is the way to do this thing? And this little bitch comes along, crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, which has like been a long, like it's like been brewing for a while from a far right libertarian perspective, but now it's like it's been taken over by another thing.
Yeah.
And all I know is this, that if Joe Rogan starts trying to sell you fucking NFTs next week, well, I'll be damned. We were right. And I am the antithesis of that motherfucker.
But yeah, let's go to our expert. But I also want to talk. I want to talk more about gut feelings when we come back, because I've been thinking about this a little bit. But yeah, let's go to the interview.
But anyway, so wait, this is my point. Okay. I had to see this shit through. I had to listen to these fucking episodes. But the first episode, Scam Economy 101, the ABCs of Crypto with David Gerard. It's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. It is such valuable information. And for anyone, I'm just saying, even if you don't go past episode 1, although you're going to want to after you do episode 1, this is the like course you need to take. This is like what you need to know about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, proof of work, proof of stake, all of these things. They go through all of the language and the verbiage so that you can, because that's the way that people fucking scam you, right? Always. They scam you because they think, they bank on the idea that you don't want to seem stupid to other people, so you won't ask questions.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Or just, that you'll take what they're saying in good faith and that they're saying, no, this is a good deal. And you're like, okay, this guy's a good guy and he said it's a good deal.
But also I think a little bit that, and I think we've talked about this before, Case, that idea of like not wanting to seem stupid is it's the emperor's new clothes. It's like what costs
for sure.
people everything. Like,
for sure.
I think once you can release yourself of the ego, which by the way, if my vocal fry hasn't already done it for me, I am like, don't give a shit if you think I'm a fucking idiot. Okay? I'm not. And I know I'm not. I know that I'm not. So, what?
You know that I believe that the entire anti-mask movement and the subsequent anti-vax movement is based on people feeling a little stupid putting a mask on for the first time.
Right. That's right.
I also felt a little stupid the first time I put a mask on.
By the way, 100. I felt with you.
I was like, this is weird. This is embarrassing. Then I just did it and I got over it. But I think some people cannot get over being told this thing that you feel a little stupid doing. It's like when you get a new uniform when you're a teenager and you work at like fucking Wiener Schnitzel and you don't want to wear the hat,
You're talking about hot dog on a stick. Hot dog on a stick.
Hot dog on a stick. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I just had to correct that because it's
I
hot dog
only
on a
know
stick.
it. I only know it from comic strips.
Wiener Schnitzel, you don't wear a hat.
You don't have to wear a hat. But so you don't want to wear the hot dog on a stick hat and you're trying to take it off every time your manager's not looking and then put it on when your manager's looking. I think the same exact thing. I think the entire anti-mask movement is people don't want to feel a little stupid about putting on a mask for the first time and they don't want to get over it. So they'll fucking throw a temper tantrum in Walmart and lay on the floor and let a security guard drag them out because they don't want to look stupid.
This is back to the beginning of the podcast. You're afraid to talk to people about shitting blood because you don't want to be embarrassed about it. You don't want to look stupid. When it's like, you just ate beets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't even know. Like this is the crux of all of it, which is that we have created this bizarro world in which just being human is embarrassing and shameful. Therefore, if you want to succeed, you have to like appear as if you know everything, you're smart enough, you're not shitting blood, whatever. You don't have a
you're
body.
invulnerable.
You're invulnerable, and that is insane. That is insane. It's insane. These motherfuckers are insane, and it's just ego, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I love a person that's like, I was wrong. And let me say this too. I'm going to say this right now. If it turns out that NFTs are Web3 and all this bullshit is like the wave of the future and essentially Reese Witherspoon is Al Gore, I will apologize. Okay? Okay? I will. I will say I'm fucking sorry. I will say, oh my God, you guys, that's so embarrassing. I was wrong. But I don't think I am. So anyway, let's listen to Matt Binder Tell us about it. Euphoria, euphoria, euphoria. Guys, I'm obsessed with Euphoria. We've talked about it before. What's Euphoria again? Oh, well, listen, are you having the best sex of your life with or without someone? Well, if the answer is I don't know, then you need Euphoria in your life. The Awaken Arousal Oil, the Sex Oil are perfect additions to sex, whether it's you and someone else, you and several else's. I don't know. I don't know your life. I don't know what you're into. Imagine the best orgasm or sex that you've ever had. And now imagine that could be even better with products that were designed to naturally enhance sexual pleasure and give you access to bigger and better orgasms. Come on. Euphoria is using all natural and plant-based ingredients to intensify sexual pleasure and relieve discomfort. They have a serious cult following. We've talked about this before. Tens of thousands of real people who've had their sex lives literally transformed through their products. This is a real testimonial. I love them so much. The real testimonials. I've read this one before, but you guys, this is the one I'm picking again because I love it. My wife and I use the sex oil and Awaken, and when she gets on top, we both come so hard that we see sounds and hear colors. Guys, don't know about you, but if your orgasm is anything less than seeing sounds and hearing colors, then you need some Euphoria in your life. The products are made to help women and people with vulvas fully experience their sexual pleasure, from heightened orgasms to more sexual comfort. And the best-selling Awaken Arousal Oil is the ultimate pleasure pre-game. It's like a little warm-up oil. Helps you get really turned on, increasing your pleasure, deepening your orgasms. Use together, Euphoria's Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil are the perfect combo for peak pleasure. So yes, guys, you have our permission to try it. Please try it if you haven't already. I fully endorse you to go ahead and treat yourself and have the best sex of your life, more deeper, fuller pleasure wherever you can find it, and as often as possible. And you can start with a bottle of Euphoria. Euphoria is offering a very special deal for our listeners, 20% off your first order by visiting euphoриawellness.com/best or use code BEST at checkout. That's FORIA wellness.com/best for 20% off your order. I recommend trying their Awaken Arousal Oil and Sex Oil. You're going to thank me later, and honestly, reach out to the pod because we want to hear your story. Hot water, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hot water, beep, 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 beep. Guys, I'm like, honestly, I'm over getting bloated from alcohol. And I do enjoy, though, a refreshing beverage at the end of my long days. And in the last week or so, I have been alternating out. Some nights I'll have my glass of wine, and then some nights I'll have my hot water. It's so good. And it gives me like the same little like, boop, like I get a little treat. It's a little nice drink. I like it. It's a non-alcoholic sparkling hot water crafted with functional ingredients for added mood-boosting benefits. And my God, don't we need those right now? I'm obsessed. I've put together the most delicious mocktails in the last couple weeks using hot water. The lime flavor makes a perfect alcohol-free michelada, which I did when we had nachos the other night. And there's also lots of different recipes on their website, on the Hop Water website. I mean, Hop Water, okay, so it's spelled HOPWTR. It's made from an exclusive blend of hops that give it a crisp, citrusy taste. There's no alcohol, calories, carbs, or sugar. Doesn't bust up your diet. Doesn't leave you hungover. Doesn't bloat you. And it's nice to have something that's not just like water at the end of the day. And also juice. Like for a minute, I was like making juice. Like I was drinking. I know this sounds insane. I was drinking juice, but it was just like so much sugar. There's so much sugar in in my kids' like orange juice and stuff. So I'm like, that's not working for me either. Anyway, you don't have to choose between having fun or feeling like you're just like sipping flat water in a corner. You're going to love hop water. It's honestly the healthy way to hops. This couldn't have come at like a better moment for me. And I really have been enjoying making these non-alcoholic sparkling beverages with hop water. So trust me, you're going to love hop water too. I really think you should try it out. And right now, our listeners can get the special offer, 20% off your first purchase, plus free shipping when you order 24 cans or more. Yes. To get this offer, go now to hopwater.com. That's HOPWTR.com. And use our promo code BEST, and you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping. Don't wait. The offer won't last long. Go now to HOPWTR.com and use promo code BEST. Okay. Well,
Are you recording, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is recording.
Okay, great.
Which is, by the way, a fair question. Matt, you're on the East Coast as well, right?
I am, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Just we're on the same time zone. That's all. That's why it's fantastic. I'm just excited to be on the same time zone as you. Okay, so Matt Binder. We do things pretty professionally around here, and I think you're gonna like it. No, but okay. So Mike Binder has
Matt.
a new. What am I saying? Why did I say Mike? You guys, I'm so fucking. I'm sorry. We've
you're
had
not doing okay.
I'm not doing great. I'm not. Matt,
don't
I'm
worry
not
about
doing
it.
great.
There
and
is a There's like
Sorry.
a Hollywood director named like Mike Binder, so maybe more Mike
really?
Binder. So yeah, that might
There's
be
a
what you
Mike
get.
Binder.
Mike Binder, yes.
That's right.
Right.
There is a Mike Binder. You're correct. But you're Matt Binder, and Matt, you've only recently come upon my radar because I'm obsessed with the scam of celebrities and NFTs. Being a celebrity who thinks NFTs are a scam, I have found myself fascinated by a large majority of celebrities who are now trying to foist these ugly fucking things upon me. So you have a podcast called Doomed that's very successful, and your new podcast is literally about this very kind of subject. I mean, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and NFTs.
Right.
And it just launched. I just listened to the second episode. So guys, get in now while it's hot.
Get in on the ground floor.
You know what? That's like they say about Bitcoin and NFTs, which is a scam and a Ponzi scheme. But Matt's new podcast, not a scam nor a Ponzi scheme, wants nothing from you, but you can get in on the ground floor.
There you go. And it's called Scam Economy. So, I mean, it works perfectly. So you can just go to scameconomy.com and find where it is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And there you go. It's right there.
People listen to podcasts all over the place, but we only learn about NFTs apparently from Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton and Reese Witherspoon. So, Matt, I have to talk to you about this.
Let's do it.
I'm fucking fascinated. First of all, we all know what no, maybe we don't all, but speculative investing is a thing. Like that's a thing that I've sort of known. I don't know a lot about a lot of things because I don't come from money. I have made a fair amount of money as an actor, but I'm not rich, Reese Witherspoon rich. And so speculative investing, from my understanding, I'm just I'm bringing it down to the core for our people, the people that listen to our pod. Wait, my kid has a question. Yes, Birdie. What did you just say it again for everyone?
Mr. Beast, who
a very popular YouTuber. We've talked about him on this show, actually.
he one of his people that work for him, Chandler, is very into NFTs and buys a lot of NFTs, and he also invests a lot because of this guy Gary Vee, and he was on a podcast with Logan Paul talking about it.
However,
it is undoing all of his it is undoing a lot of his work picking up trash from seas and planting trees, and it's just contradicting his entire like making the world a better place thing.
Damn,
Well,
you don't even need me here. That's
Hey,
there you
hey,
go.
Matt, welcome to the fucking next generation.
That makes me very happy, honestly, because
This is a
people who-
13-year-old.
So yeah, I mean, people who are hawking these NFTs are hoping that, you know, people like your 13-year-old are going to think that this is the future, this is the next wave of the internet. They're trying to brand it as Web3, where this is going to be what takes over. It's not going to be about social media anymore, or
Right.
your favorite video website like TikTok or YouTube. They want you to buy these digital assets, and for your wallet, where these digital assets live, for your wallet to be directly connected to who you are online. Like, instead of logging into a website by like signing up and giving your email, they want you to go by your digital wallet everywhere. The new way to connect to all these Web3 platforms would be your wallet. And like, to me, this is an example of the commodification of every single thing you do online. Like, you know, the internet, when we think of the internet, I mean, sure, there's, you know, we have all these VCs and tech founders who made tons of money off of their various websites and apps and companies. But at its core, the internet's always been an open source of free knowledge for anyone to go online and find whatever they'd like at no cost other than paying for your your cable bill for your internet. But here they want everyone to be able to buy everything. They don't want you to just enjoy things anymore. They want video games to all be selling NFTs. Like, you know, you play a video game. Take Fortnite, for example. You go on there, you log in, you can play for free. If you want some specialty Fortnite clothes to make your guy look cool, yeah, it costs a few bucks. But anyone can pay that same amount to get those cool clothes for your Fortnite character. What the NFT world would like to do, with people who are hawking this stuff and pushing Web3 and NFTs and crypto, they want, say, this extra cool outfit in Fortnite, they want that to be limited to only people who, a limited run of, like, let's say 10 of these cool jackets for your Fortnite character. They're all $3,000, and then 10 people buy them who have the means to buy them, and then they get resold over and over again as speculative assets. And then, playing games is no longer fun if you're in it to make money every single time. Like, imagine every hobby monetized in that way. It's just, that's not the internet we know. They want to literally change it so people of means basically run the show.
Well, it's also just like an exploded version of the real world where incredibly wealthy people will have things that you and I will not have, will never have.
Right, and perhaps the most egregious of it all is that it's being sold, and this is crypto as a whole. It's being sold as this, this way, like you were saying before, to get in on the ground level for a whole generation of people who feel like they've been left behind, and they're telling these people, this is for you to get, to lift yourself out of poverty. This is for you to, if you're unbanked, if you don't have a bank account for various reasons, they're saying this is put your money into crypto, and there you go. You have a bank that's not beholden to, the big banks, who of course are regulated and insured, and if anything happens to your money, the federal government makes sure that money is backed. Crypto, that's none of it. If someone hacks into your wallet, that's gone. There's no, Capital One or any bank to call and say, hey,
Right.
someone
I was
just...
going to say, like, even the benefit of just, like, for real, American Express. Like, if someone takes your number or something and spends $2,000, like, American Express will be like, yeah, we got it. It's cool. We'll take care of that. Like, I don't know if they ever get that money back from the guy that spent it on Postmates or whatever he did. You know what I mean? But like, that's, I don't know. We don't have that in crypto.
That's exactly it. And also, there's no refunds. There's no taking back. Like, whatever goes on the blockchain, that's it. There's no editing it. Like, that's why this whole technology, from a technological standpoint, even the technology is so, like, bizarre that this is being seen as the future. Like, we can literally do, Visa, how many transactions do you think they run every minute? Probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions even. Whereas Bitcoin, or on the Ethereum network, Ether, which is the crypto on the Ethereum network, this stuff is so insanely slow because basically every transaction basically goes in a block on this chain, the blockchain. And when this happens, you basically have a bunch of people who are considered crypto miners. It's all very complicated, and it's done like this purposeful, but they basically compete to write that block on the chain by trying to solve these mathematical equations first. And when they do that, they write the block on the chain and get rewarded in cryptocurrency. So there is a monetary incentive there for them to do this. And to do it faster, they have to have these high-powered graphic cards and processors. Right. And if you look at, like, people think like, oh, Bitcoin miners, what do they got? A bunch of little computers? No, we're talking like Amazon warehouse rooms full of just racks and racks of processing power that's taking up massive amounts of electricity just so these Bitcoin miners or any crypto miners can get a little bit of crypto so they can write a block on the chain. Yes. And it's obviously good for them because they keep spending money to do it and they're making money back.
So
it's not good for the world.
It's not good, yes. And I want to try to make an analogy because this is all starting to sound like sci-fi. So crypto miners are basically competing to do the equivalent of, like, say, minting a coin. Like, if the United States let you mint your own coins and spend them, people are using all this computer equipment, electricity, and natural resources to be like, yeah, this is my coin. I got to, like, get it out there, right?
Right. Okay. No, you're on the money here. It's so incredible. Like, let's take NFTs for example. And I think we should put this up front. I don't even know if most people really realize this. Those JPEGs of those Bored Apes or any
They're
other
so fucking
NFT.
ugly.
But listen, here's the deal. When someone buys an NFT, they're not actually buying those images.
That's right. What are they buying, Matt?
They are buying a token on the blockchain. Literally a string of characters that gets minted on the blockchain that literally points to the URL where that JPEG or video file or music, audio file, whatever it is that the NFT they're buying, it's a URL, it's a token that points to the URL where that file lives.
Right.
And people don't seem to realize this.
No.
Because they think they're actually buying the equivalent of a painting.
Right.
But the difference here is it's digital art, which means anyone could right-click it, copy it, and you get the same. Like, this isn't like, a painter paints and then they sell prints, but there is a physical difference between the original painting and those prints. Here, there is no difference between a digital file. Once you right-click it, it's the same exact thing. But they are basically selling the receipt of your purchase on the blockchain, so you can just basically have the bragging rights to say that you bought that receipt to that JPEG.
And here's where I want to just, like, all of the jargon aside, because you guys, you really should listen to Scam Economy. I've only listened to the first 2 episodes.
It's all right.
Matt,
There's only 2 episodes.
By the way, I found the first episode to be so informative and, like, mind-blowing for a person who clearly knows very little about any of this shit, but I feel like could at any second be taken in by someone to, like, spend an amount of money, except for the fact that it's, like, clearly so cheesy that it makes me very skeptical. And, like, I actually love art, and I do. Caissie, don't make that face at me. You were like,
you do love art. You do.
No, I really fucking love art, and I love artists, and I love fucking musicians, and I love the shit they make. And I am looking at Bored Ape Yacht Club and Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton, and I'm like, who's holding a gun to their head, and is it somehow Jeffrey Epstein? Like, I don't understand what is happening, and it feels like everybody has been sort of, like, brainwashed and taken into this thing. And what was so genius is, who's the guest on your first episode? What's his name?
David Gerard.
David Gerard says this thing pretty early up in the episode, which is like, it's the age-old get rich quick scheme. And unfortunately, it's like intersecting now with like celebrity and pop culture in a way that is deeply disturbing to me. And so I a little bit want to ask you about this latest turn in the last several weeks of like the NFT bros realizing that everyone fucking hates them, right?
Right.
And how did all of these celebrities get caught up in this literal scam?
Right. So when you talk about the NFT bros, you're actually, you're talking about a very small amount of people. That's the thing. That's why this whole thing is being propped up by people like VCs and other
Venture
companies,
capitalists for those
venture
of you-
capitalists, and tech people and entrepreneurs who like are totally into this. They found their thing, their get rich quick scheme, and they're pushing on everyone. There's been a recent study came out, actually, it was published in the Financial Times, that there are 360,000 people I should say 360,000 wallets holding 2.7 million NFTs, which is basically all the NFTs there are right now, or at the time of this study. Of those people, 32,400 wallets hold 80% of the market value. So we're basically hearing about all this stuff because of around 32,000 people who own the most of the valuable NFTs. And I want to say wallets again instead of people, because we don't know how many actual people hold this stuff because they're stored in a wallet and there's no limit to how many wallets an individual have. What we could really be looking at is, 10,000 people who each own 3 wallets holding NFTs. Like, that's how small this market is. And, Jimmy Fallon's on there on The Tonight Show talking to millions of people about a thing that only 32,000 people are really into. It's ludicrous. Like, I've never seen this for anything before.
But so I asked this question, and since you're an expert in this and know people who are experts too, what regulations wise, I had a late night talk show, and also I have worked with brands for many years, like going on Good Morning America, talking about my thing with whatever brand or whatever, posting on Instagram. What are the regulations in terms of Jimmy Fallon talking about this on his late night talk show, basically promoting a thing that he has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in, like in a I don't know. Are there any regulations to these NFTs or Bitcoin? And also similarly, like on Twitter and Instagram, I've seen all of these. This is how it's like obviously come to my attention. All of these, celebrities posting their, ladies, let's just get together and learn about Bitcoin. There's millions to be made, ladies,
Right.
and we got to join the thing. And as a fucking white feminist trying to do better, I'm like, wait. I think this might be bullshit, guys. Hold up.
It's like digital LuLaRoe. I mean, it really is. I mean, they're selling. I mean, look, here's the deal. Like when you buy something from someone, whether it be you buy something from a company, you buy a product or a service. The transaction happens. You give the money. They give you the product or service. Transaction ends there. When it comes to crypto, NFTs, anything we're talking about in this space, that's not where the transaction ends, because no one buys a Bitcoin to have a Bitcoin. You can't do anything with a Bitcoin. The value of a Bitcoin, why you buy a Bitcoin, is the hope that the value of the Bitcoin ends up being higher than the amount you spent for it. And then you in turn sell it to someone who thinks the same. And then you make a profit off of it. And that next person you sell it to hopes that they too can do that. It is essentially a Ponzi scheme, because you can only cash out when someone else wants to cash in at a higher price. And then eventually those people will want to cash out at a higher price than they sold. And they're not going to, it'll keep going and going till there's a point where you got someone who paid so much that there's no one who wants to pay a higher price. So then they sell at a loss. And when it comes to the crypto market, let's take Bitcoin because it is the one that basically the whole market goes by. When Bitcoin goes up, the entire crypto market goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, the entire crypto market goes down. Everything's pegged to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is backed by something. Bitcoin is mainly purchased by something called a stable coin because essentially, when you put your money into one of these crypto trading platforms like Coinbase, your money sits there. If it sits as Bitcoin or Ethereum, any of the other of these cryptos, it ebbs and flows so much that you don't want to put $1,000 in there, and the next day you go to actually invest in something, and it's now worth $800 for just sitting there. So you put your money in something called a stable coin, which is supposed to be pegged. Let's take Tether, which is the big stable coin. Tether is supposed to be pegged to the US dollar. One tether is supposed to equal $1, and they're supposed to have this backed. For every tether they print, they're supposed to have $1 in the bank. And, they claimed this for a long time, and then it became very weird because all of a sudden Tether will randomly print up, 100 million tether when Bitcoin's going down, and all this tether would flow into the market to buy up these Bitcoin to pump up the Bitcoin price again, and people would go, wait a minute, there's no way the company printing up this tether actually just got like 100 million in US dollar to just print up all this tether. Well, the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, basically filed a lawsuit, and they end up settling with Tether. But we found out that it in fact is not the case. Tether does not actually have the 1-for-1 US dollar backing they claim to have. What they have is a bunch of IOUs. So when you talk about a $2 trillion,
it's the Big Short. It's the Big Short all over again. Except instead of fucking houses and unsecured loans and whatever, and the federal whatever that was, the government and the housing market and the big banks, it's these fucking bros and their fake fucking money.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. People talk about Bitcoin as they talk about the $2 trillion. That's exactly right. Because they talk about the $2 trillion crypto market. But if everyone who has crypto right now wanted to cash in, there's not $2 trillion sitting there to go out to everybody because the cash equivalent isn't there. It's just not there.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
This reminds me of when your school would make you sell chocolate bars when you were in school for a fundraiser, and then you fucking eat 16 of the chocolate bars because you're you just eat one and then you eat another one, and then the next thing you know, 16.
Caissie, we know how it happens.
Yeah, and then you have to come up with that $16 to pay the chocolate bars back when the school says the money's due. But so what do you do? And what do you do if the school says you owe the chocolate bar money tomorrow and you don't got it?
Right. I mean, that's, when we I mean, that's a great analogy, honestly.
Yes.
Here's the thing. When people talk about all the time, when you mention this stuff's a scam, they'll say to you oh, well, I made money off of this. Well, yeah, what do you think a scam is? People make money from scams all the time. I mean, that's why people do them. And when you buy a Bitcoin or buy a percentage of a Bitcoin or any crypto, and you sell and make money, again, there's no company here with revenue. There's no company here who has a profit from creating something of some utility, any sort of product or service, food, entertainment, anything that people purchase. What we have is basically you buy something, which in turn you sell, and your winnings come from the people who are going to end up losing their money if they don't find someone to, in turn, pay more than they did. When you talk about Bitcoin profits, you're talking about money you're taking from people who are going to end up selling at a loss.
Okay, but is it wrong to want Jimmy Fallon to lose all of his money on that ape?
Now, here's the thing. Did Jimmy Fallon actually buy the ape? That's my question.
That's the fucking question, Matt. This is why I'm asking you. Who is giving these fucking NFTs to all these celebrities?
Now we don't know. Well, let's get into the Jimmy Fallon thing first. Okay, so it appears that and this is your area of expertise here.
But
that
also, can I be real with you, Matt?
Sure.
He makes so much fucking money.
Yeah, he does.
So, like him spending $200,000 on that horrible looking address on a blockchain, like, I guess, like I could
Right.
actually see maybe if somebody that he trusts is like, you should do this thing, put your 200 grand into this. Okay,
Right.
maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
No, for sure. But the issue for me though is, when you talked about the last episode of the show, I believe your show, I believe it was, you talked about that Paris Hilton Jimmy Fallon clip.
Terrifying.
And it is stunning to watch. But like, here's the thing: could you imagine that conversation about mutual funds
No.
or penny stocks? Like.
No.
No celebrity or really anyone with any TV time in their right mind would go on the air like that and start offering financial advice or even bring up something they've invested in like that.
Or Matt, how about this? Or even like old comic books that they both collected.
Right.
Which is actually
it's
like
weird.
a tangible thing that you could hold.
Yes.
And like holds
Yes.
meaning to you.
Right.
But
Right.
that still wouldn't be a thing you would talk about.
Right. They basically went on, and you could tell they had no idea what they're talking about because we just discussed what the NFT actually is. It's the token. It's the token. And we end up on the show talking about the images, these pictures of the apes and how it looks just like Paris Hilton when it looks nothing like Paris Hilton.
I was really
Because-
looking for one that looked just like me.
Right. I mean, it's Jimmy Fallon doing this is honestly worse than all the times he broke on SNL and ruined all the jokes. I mean, it's so unbelievably
It's
sinister
egregious.
what he does.
I think it's egregious.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing, like, they clearly had no idea what they're talking about. And here's the really funny thing. NFTs are supposed to be this digital, support digital art and everything. How did they present their NFT images, by the way? They fucking printed them out. They
held
printed them
up.
out.
And they held them up.
Like, can you
And they
believe?
held them the fuck
Yes.
up. Yes. I was
They-
thinking the same thing. Like, guys, I feel like this is totally missing the point.
Right. I mean, they could have grabbed a tablet, like an iPad or something, and held. No, they printed them out. Completely defeats the purpose that supposedly we're supposed to be selling here. That it's finally a way to like appreciate digital art. What'd you do with it? I printed it out. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. But like when they're talking about, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're talking about the actual images. And, if you look into this, so many of these celebrities, again, this is where your area of expertise would be. And there's so many that were backed by, the Creative Artist Agency, the CAA.
Sure.
And
We call it the Death Star in Los Angeles.
There we go.
I don't know if you've seen the building itself, but they built their building and it looks like the fucking Death Star.
I did not know that. There you
yeah,
go.
well, when next time you come to LA, you can see it.
And, and there's the Death Star behind all of these celebrities. And you look further into this, and the CAA has an investment in OpenSea, which has pretty much become the NFT marketplace.
Right.
This is where the majority of these NFTs are being bought and sold, which also, I should say, a majority of NFTs that OpenSea have minted are actually stolen images and stolen media. They actually had to come out and admit that 80% of the things that are minted with their NFT tool are being minted by people who do not own the copyright or ownership of this art. Like literally, people are stealing artists' work and minting them as NFTs and putting them up on OpenSea. And OpenSea, they did at one point sort of start taking this stuff down, and they probably do randomly now, depending on how big the person is. But they also just started being like, we can't. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much of this shit
can't
is just
control
stolen art. We can't control it.
Yeah.
I mean,
so let me ask a question. Are there no consequences because, okay, here's the thing. If you're Michael Jordan and you make a new shoe, you can go on Ellen and talk about like, hey, these are my new Jordans and everyone should buy them. And that is like, that's promoting a product that exists
Right.
and people can buy those shoes. But does this get into like manipulating a market? And are there no consequences because we don't have the language for it yet?
Right. There's basically no regulation in this space. Like the trading platforms like Coinbase and the various platforms that sort of act like a financial institution, they do have to follow, certain regulatory obligations that were written up for banks, like traditional banks.
Okay.
But in terms of like the manipulation of the market and basically the laundering of money via this stuff, there are no specific regulatory rules for any of this. NBC, for example, has a policy where like an internal company policy where, their employees cannot shill their own investments that would in turn help them gain in value on their programs. And people brought this up to NBC after that Paris Hilton Jimmy Fallon interview, and they said no, that's not the equivalent, because I'm assuming they don't even view this stuff as a commodified asset, but it is. It is. That's all this is. No one is buying this stuff as to look at the pretty picture, because again, you're not owning the pretty picture, and you can right-click and save it on your desktop and do whatever you want with it for free. You are essentially buying a token on the blockchain connected to the URL that points to that picture. And because of the insanity of this market, you're hoping that that token's value will go up based on the brand of the NFT, and you'll
Matt.
make money off of it.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to interrupt you for 2 seconds.
Sure, go ahead.
This is the only thing I can think of. The idea of in New York airspace, like buying airspace, right? Like that's okay. Do you guys know about this? Like basically in New York at a certain point, and I don't know if it was like Donald Trump's family or Robert Durst or some other fucking psychopath's family that figured out that buildings went up to a certain point, but that and so somebody owned that building up to floor 10. But what about from what would be floor 11 to like floor 100? Who owns that? And so they started purchasing that space, the airspace, correct?
Right.
This is my understanding.
Right.
Of
It sounds familiar to me.
speculative real estate
Right.
fucking shenanigans.
Right.
And that is how a lot of real estate moguls in New York City made their fortunes, was by buying things that didn't exist yet with the hope that it would exist in the future. And so these idiots are either purchasing or being given and then shilling in the hopes that this URL on a blockchain is the equivalent to like floors 11 through 30 in New York City, when in fact, what is it equivalent to? Anything?
I mean, see, even your analogy
doesn't really work.
It's because
right?
the airspace is useful.
It's useful. What does this do? This URL.
Right. And also, the utility of the building is that eventually it will house people and provide shelter in exchange for rent or whatever. There's no utility here. There's no utility here whatsoever. It's literally a way for people of means to make money, and for them to continue to make money, they need to get the commoners, the peons, to buy into this too. And then when enough people
saying,
do that,
like, hey ladies, let's get in on this. We've missed too much already of cryptocurrency, gals.
Yes.
Hop on board.
Yes, exactly.
Fuck that.
And you'll see this continue throughout too. They'll say, "Oh, what about all the the immigrants or people in poverty who can't put their money in banks because they can't reach the minimum limit amount or whatever?" Well, it's like, if you care about that, then you should be supporting something like, I don't know, postal banking, where anyone can cash their money at, there's a movement to basically have banks, the post office provide banking services, which would be fantastic. Allow
It should
a lot
be
of
libraries, by the way. It should be libraries, not post offices, but whatever.
Sure.
It should be libraries. Libraries
Yeah.
do everything, and they should be able to provide banking services. You can get whatever. I have a lot to say about libraries. They're the greatest places on earth. But
It could be both.
Right.
We could have both.
But the library is the great democratization. That is like the promise of whatever this country built on lies is. The core of it, to me,
Right.
is a fucking public library. But whatever.
I mean, really, anything that provide any public institution that provides something for the greater welfare of the people. I mean, that's just the point of what our government's supposed to do. It's supposed to take care of everybody, provide services that should be a basic right for everybody. And if you think banking is part of that, which I agree, then you would think that's the route to go. But here's the thing. The VCs and the entrepreneurs can't make money off of that. So they sell cryptocurrency wallets as the way for the unbanked to put their, to have their money somewhere where they can access, of course, not paying attention to the fact that this stuff ebbs and flows all the time, and how someone can hack into these people's wallets, or if they forget their wallet code, it's gone forever.
That's it.
They can
It's
never
gone.
access that money. Yeah. It's not like you go to your bank's website and click forgot password and they'll send you a new one. You forget the passcode for your wallet, that's it. Everything you have in there is gone forever.
I'm already out because
Right.
everyone knows I can't remember a goddamn passcode to save my life.
You would lose a lot of money.
Ooh, Bev. Now, we started the pod today. I was cracking open my Bev. You know how much we love Bev. You know how much I love Bev. I don't even need to sell you on it. You know what Bev is because of me. If you haven't tried Bev yet, that's on you. Why is it my favorite canned wine brand? It's female founded. You know how I like to support the ladies. My favorite varietal is the sparkling rosé. I will drink a can of that sparkling rosé anywhere, anytime. If you see me on the street and you run up to me and hand me a Bev sparkling rosé, I will say thank you so much, and I will open it. I love it. It's great for bringing to like gatherings, parties, great for gifting, share with your friends. Listen, most importantly, it's nice. It's nice. 0 sugar, 3 carbs, 100 calories per serving, little fizzy, super refreshing, delicious. And I don't have to open like a huge bottle of wine. Anyway, I'm obsessed. I've gotten my mom had the fridge stocked with Bevs in Arizona when I came home. Bless her heart. She knows what I like. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Barb Phillips, for supporting the podcast and Bev. Listen, I had 2 during the recording of the podcast. Get 2-day shipping straight to your door. Shipping's always free. I've worked out a special deal. They love us. They love you guys. Receive 20% off your first purchase plus free shipping on all orders. We suggest trying their best-selling Ladies Night Variety Pack. And you can check out all their delicious varietals. But my favorite, and maybe it's just because I am who I am, guys. But my favorite is the sparkling rosé. Anyway, go to drinkbev.com/busy or use code busy at checkout to claim the deal. That's drinkbev.com/busy. Bev can also be found at retailers nationwide now, including Target, Total Wine, Bevmo, and more. But if you order it online, I get credit, and I want credit. I love you. Bye. Athletic Greens. Guys, not a joke. So I'm living in this building now, and there are other people in the building. And I came home the other day and I saw my AG1 box waiting for me in the lobby where the mailboxes are, and grabbed it and went up to my apartment, and it was not for me. was for somebody else in my building because AG1 is so delicious and so fantastic. Everybody wants to get some. I had to go back downstairs and drop it back off so that I didn't steal it from that guy because that would have not been very neighborly of me. But I'm loving my athletic greens. I was feeling kind of gross a couple weeks ago. I was talking about it on the podcast, and it was hard for me. And the next day I made myself a morning smoothie. It tastes so good. You could just do it with water, which some people do. I do enjoy like a little protein smoothie vibe. And I'm not even kidding you. I did that for 3 days and I felt like a different person. More energy, better gut health. 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens, and it helps you start your day right. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially because we still are in this like cold and flu season, guys. It's 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different little pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/busy. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/busy to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. AG1, I love it so much, and don't steal it from your neighbors.
Matt, can I ask you a question? Because people that
Sure,
I
yeah.
know that are really very, very smart, and people that I know who are artists are trying to participate in this. And what I've heard from them is like, yes, there's like all that celebrity stuff going on, and that's what everybody's talking about, but that's not the real story here. The real story here is that this is a way to, like you were saying, lift people out of poverty. It's a way for artists who had no way of making a living before to make a living. But that doesn't make sense to me, because if they're not the art that's being plugged and pursued, if they're not the hot art, no one's going to buy it anyway, right? Like,
Right. I mean, they're basically, putting their hopes on the fact that their art's going to somehow go viral, and they'll be the brand that everyone wants to invest in. And here's the thing too, like, if you're an artist, I get the struggle of artists. I totally understand that. But like, no one is investing in your art. No one cares about your art. They just care about the branding hype around whatever the big NFT project is, in hopes that they'll cash in on that investment. Like, I get the point of wanting to make money, but like, is this how you want to do it? For every NFT that is minted on the Ethereum blockchain, which is the main network where the vast majority of NFTs are minted, for every minted NFT, that takes up the same energy consumption that runs the entire electricity of a home in California for a week.
Just say that one more time. I'm going to Oprah you. I need you to repeat that
yes.
for me one more time.
The amount of energy consumed in minting one NFT is the equivalent of the same amount a household in California consumes in 1 week.
Wow.
So when your kid was talking about how wasteful this is, I mean, they were spot on.
Well, also, it's so fucking crazy. And Birdie was not in my AirPods earlier tonight listening to episode 2 of Scam Economy, your podcast, is that you guys talk about Mr. Beast and how they sort of like Mr. Beast and is it Logan Paul? I don't know these guys.
Logan Paul, yeah.
Logan Paul kind of
Yeah.
like let the cat out of the bag about what a fucking scam it was, on like maybe on accident, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, unless they like admitting to their fans that they took part in market manipulation. I mean, Who knows? But to me, it did seem unintentional. They're on. I don't know if it was their podcast or they were just talking on a live stream or something. But this is on YouTube for anyone to watch. Logan Paul and Mr. Beast are discussing how one day Gary V, who's this big, one of those like. He's
the crush it guy,
grind, hustle VC guys. Like you're not working hard enough if you're taking the weekends off. One of those
Birdie
guys.
knew who Mr. V was.
Gary V.
Yeah. Gary, Mr.
Gary
V.
Vaynerchuk.
So
So
Mr. Beast and Gary V. But
Right.
Birdie was like, Birdie mentioned that guy by name.
Yeah.
My
Right,
13-year-old. Okay.
Right, because he's like this tech guy who's invested in a lot of different companies, but he's also made a name for himself as one of those like inspirational entrepreneur types. Like you got to get out there and life is about making money. And so he is, he basically goes, Mr. Beast and Logan Paul live on their, on YouTube are talking about how one day Gary V gives them a call and gets about 30 other people in total on the same phone call and tells them all, hey, you guys have to buy into CryptoPunks right now. CryptoPunks is basically the first big NFT project. They're like those like 8-bit digital like people art. You might have seen. It's like they're all like they look like they're in like an old Nintendo game. They just like a still image of a guy with a mohawk or like it's just even cooler concept maybe than the apes.
Doesn't sound much cooler. Just FYI.
Yeah. But so they're like this first big NFT project that went big. And they're like the first one that actually people started making tons of money off of. And Gary V, apparently, according to Logan Paul and Mr. Beast, called 30 people up one day, including the two of them, and said, you guys need to invest in CryptoPunks right now. We're getting in right now. And so they say, okay, so we bought CryptoPunks. And Mr. Beast says he bought multiple ones. I think he said 8. And then lo and behold, what happens? The price of CryptoPunks skyrockets. And then they end up selling off all their CryptoPunks and then putting the money into Gary V's NFT project. I mean, the odds of, a bunch of people with lots of money all getting into this at the same time and pumping up the price of CryptoPunks, it's not something that would happen without what they did on this call. Gary V basically telling them all to buy this stuff now to pump up the price and then go ahead and sell it off later to then put into his own project. And
so just to make another analogy, it's kind of like if I bought a Volkswagen and then let a famous person, like say I got Brad Pitt to drive it a mile down the street and park it. If somebody was willing to like buy it for 4 times as much as I paid for it because Brad Pitt drove it and it's on a new street.
Right, but here's the thing too, like
You can still get a car.
That too, yes. But here's the thing, they sold it to somebody, ostensibly thinking that the price was just naturally going up. CryptoPunks were taking off, not realizing there was this manipulation in the market.
The reason why the CryptoPunks went up is because they all bought them.
Right. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And
I don't
Exactly.
think I don't think Mr. Beast thought I'm contributing to the inflation of this. I think because maybe I'm giving Mr. Beast too much credit, or
You love Mr. Beast.
you guys, I really love Mr. Beast. Okay, just everybody take it easy. I know a few things from having teenagers, and one of them is that I really do like those videos that Mr. Beast does. Hate the Paul brothers. Fucking can't stand a lot of those motherfuckers. But I really do like Mr. Beast. But anyway, but it could stand to reason to me that because also celebrities are idiots. You know what I mean? I do know that.
Right.
And it could stand to reason that they would be like, hot tip, we're going to get these things, we're going to get in while the getting's good, not realizing that they're the ones that are now manipulating the price to go up because they've all put their money in at the same fucking time. Being manipulated by this guy.
Right. Like I don't know what they knew or if they even they said it publicly on their stream.
Like,
I mean,
why would you say it? Why
Right,
would you
right,
say that
right.
publicly? That is so wild to me. If Martha Stewart,
exactly.
right?
Right?
Martha Stewart went to jail essentially because someone called her and was like, "You should probably remove like your $15,000. That's what the craziest thing about the Martha Stewart thing is to me, is that it was like not that much money, but like you like that stock. It wasn't. I mean,
No, I know.
$15,000 I
wasn't.
know is a lot of money,
Is
but I
a
mean,
lot,
like
but
in
no,
the
but in the-
scheme of
to her.
but I'm
Right.
also in like the scheme of like white collar crime,
Right.
Like
Right.
you know, billions of dollars is what people are normally talking about, and it was like a few $1,000s she had in some stock, and someone with an inside track called and was like, you should pull your money out because that's not going to pass the FDA approval. So she pulled her money out and then got slammed, right? So
Right.
these guys getting this tip from Gary Vee is almost, I mean, the inverse of it, kind of.
Right. Right. Yeah, sort of. Like, here's the thing though, like when they come out and say this stuff, they've already sold off their crypto punks or whatever. So like, you know, by the time their fans get this information, it's like, wait a minute, like, what if I bought into it because I saw the price rising, not knowing it was rising because you guys were working behind the scenes to all manipulate this. And I see after it's, you know, as it's rising, I go, oh, look, Mr. Beast bought 8 CryptoPunks. I'm going to get a CryptoPunk too. And then I buy in way more than what Mr. Beast bought in for. And then he's selling off, basically cashing in with the fans' money. And then you got all these people selling off their CryptoPunks to then go ahead and buy into Gary Vee's project. Is the price of CryptoPunk going up or down? I mean, I don't know, but it could have very well dropped based on the sell-off. That's how you know all this stuff usually works. You know, when a bunch of whales who are essentially people who would own the most of, let's say, you know, the majority of like Bitcoin or Ether or an NFT project, when a bunch of them sell off, that usually tanks the value of it because it essentially takes that liquidity out of the market there, and no one's in its place to spend that money. It's amazing that this stuff happens. Here's another great example, because we were talking before about who bought Jimmy Fallon's Bored Ape. We don't know that right now, but we do know who bought Justin Bieber's Bored Ape, and it wasn't Justin Bieber. You might have heard recently, it was all over everywhere online, that Justin Bieber got into Bored Apes. He invested in a Bored Ape. What really happened was, Justin Bieber basically co-founded this clothing company with somebody, and the co-founder of that clothing company raised this money based on the actual business, and all of a sudden sends about half the money they raised to Justin Bieber's wallet for him to then in turn spend, I think it was about $2 million on this Bored Ape. And Justin Bieber's...
Did he say that he bought it because it looked like him?
I don't know, actually. Oh, I think he did, because it was like a sad, like it was an ape with tears in his eyes, and just he was like,
Right.
I feel in the mood or something like that.
I can't. I cannot.
But here's the thing: it gets even more egregious. Maybe that's the word of the podcast. This episode, egregious. So basically, why did he do this? What's the point of spending this money that you guys fundraised, sending it to Bieber so he can buy this Bored Ape? Well, the point was, Justin Bieber's clothing co-founder also has his own NFT project. And on the same day that Justin Bieber bought that Bored Ape for way more than the Bored Ape already has a ridiculous value, Justin Bieber spent even more than the ridiculous value of a Bored Ape for his Bored Ape. So to get all this press. And why did they want to get all this press? The same day, Justin Bieber also bought all these NFTs from his buddy's NFT project, and then made one of those NFTs from his buddy's project his profile image.
I mean, this whole thing about making it all their profile image is highly disturbing and also cringy to me. Mostly, honestly, Matt, mostly cringy.
Yeah.
So, Matt, let me ask you this. What do you
Sure.
think is going to happen?
I mean, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I never speculate about an incoming crash or anything like that, because we've seen how long these things can go. Like, Bernie Madoff ran his Ponzi for like 17 years.
Is this like the housing bubble, though? A little bit?
A little bit in terms of
Except
just
no houses.
There's no housing. Yeah, there's
They
nothing.
will take back your Bored Ape, though.
Right. Well, that's another thing that I haven't mentioned yet. Like, these images live on a URL. And the NFT, the token that you purchase on the blockchain, like your proof of purchase, your receipt, points to that URL. If that URL goes down, though, the NFT, the token, no longer points to the image because the image isn't there anymore. Like,
Right.
this whole thing is built on such a pile of bullshit. I mean, it's just stunning to see people spend money on this. And here's the thing, like, I know the people who are spending money right now, for the most part, on these NFT projects. Like, if you're buying a Bored Ape, you already got money to waste, in my opinion. But it's the proliferation of this stuff in trying to make it seem mainstream. Like, I don't care, like you said, Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton got money to waste. I don't care that they bought Bored Apes. What bothers me is they're going on the Tonight Show and promoting
Right.
it to everyday people. I mean, they're essentially scamming their fans. I mean, they think so
Yes.
lowly of their fans that they don't mind making a buck off their back. And this isn't like marketing a product. Like, yes, there are like FTC rules where, when you promote a product, you do need to say it's an advert, which, if they had done the same thing with an NFT, but with a makeup line or whatever, they would have been, ruining, violating those rules too. But with those natural, like those previous, like the traditional way you would market a product or service, you get something in return. If you don't like it, if it ends up being a load of bullshit, you can get a refund. You can bring it back to the store, whatever you need to do. There's nothing here like that. This is an investment that's being promoted without any of the oversight, without any of the warning that this is we're essentially giving you financial advice without following any of the rules of giving someone financial advice. I mean, you should not be getting into this stuff because Jimmy Fallon or Paris Hilton told you to. You should be getting into this stuff at all, in my opinion.
My opinion is the same as your opinion, especially now after listening to your first 2 episodes of your podcast. So I do feel like I'm an expert now, but I guess for me, here's the part that's like a little bit tricky, right, Matt? And I think is interesting and worth discussing. Sure. That first of all, it's whatever. Capitalism is as it is. But
right.
And part of living and trying to survive in the arts is that you have to make certain concessions. If you want to be on a television show, you have to understand that it's probable that during your television show, an ad may run for a product that maybe you don't agree with the ethos of the brand or whatever, but like those are the breaks. Like you want to be in this creative endeavor, you want to make money doing it in a commercial way, like you have to make those oh my God, what's the word, Caissie? Concessions. Thank you. Also, Matt, did you say it at the same time?
We did, yes.
Guys, thank you so much for being there for me. Both of you. But anyway, you have to make those concessions, right? And like, as sort of the internet has expanded in the way that it has, and certainly social media has, there have been all of these other ways to monetize ourselves as commodities, right? And, some sort of more organic and altruistic in nature that have ended up being billion-dollar industries. Like, for instance, Jessica Alba's Honest company, which literally was born out of, I know Alba. We had kids around the same time. And I remember you couldn't get a fucking organic diaper to save your life. You just couldn't. It didn't exist. You had to order them. You had to go. There was one store in Los Angeles you could go to get like organic shit for your baby. And she saw this thing, this opportunity, found a business person to partner with and started this corporation. And after that happened and the internet social media sort of exploded, lots of celebrities saw an opportunity to like not have to have their financial future tied into being, you know, a paid for hire person as an artist, a paid
performer.
for a
Yeah.
performer.
Right.
So there were all of these different ways to do that. And this seems to me to be coming along at like sort of like a peak and like the worst possible moment of everybody's like vulnerabilities, especially people in this country who've really struggled for the last 2 years.
Right.
And along comes this like get rich quick scheme to people who've already made more money than they probably should have doing something pretty dumb. I'm sorry, it's just true what we do. I'm talking about actors, guys.
Right.
It's just FYI. You know what I mean? and they're now like trying to sell this thing off to the fans that love them and the people that follow them and think like, oh, these are incredible people who are like business people and like know about this shit. And maybe I should also get into this thing because this is probably going to be the future. If this person says this is the future, they were right about polka dot scarves. So maybe they're right about this.
Right.
I don't know what I'm saying, Caissie.
No,
but
you
all
know,
I'm
but-
saying is that like I'm concerned. I am concerned, and I find it deeply unsettling, and an ethical and moral like fucking breaking point.
Yeah.
Breaking
you're
point.
exactly on point here. I mean, the idea that, you know, listen, like you said, all those different celebrities, whatever, they all monetize themselves. They build a brand, whatever. They sell. Again, we go back in the system we live in. You know, we could go beyond that and talk about how capitalism sucks or whatever. But in the system we live in, when we buy a product or a service and we get what we bought in return, that's the end of transaction. I pay for a product, I get the product, everyone goes home happy. I paid for the labor you put into buying the product or creating the product or service, and you know that's the end of transaction. That's not the end. I said this before, but I want to really, you know, harp on this. That's not the end of the transaction here. Like Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon's fans are not going to go online. The majority of people are not going to go online and go, I'm going to buy a $400,000 Bored Ape.
Right.
They're not. But they're going to go, NFTs are the future. And they're going to look into an NFT project that's more in line with their financial situation in hopes of getting rich quick. And
So they
either
might buy a $2,000 NFT and
Yes.
with like the hopes that like, well, maybe this won't ever reach $1 million, but if Jimmy Fallon's Bored Ape quadruples and he makes $1 million, I might get $8,000 with my $2,000.
Right. And one of two things will happen. One is that they'll buy this this lower end NFT project that hasn't blown up and has hype around it, and they won't be able to resell it, and there goes that money, period.
Right.
That's scam A. That's the big scam that I've been talking about this whole time. But then there's scam B, the actual full-blown scams under the scam economy. Like the Bored Ape people, the people who founded the Bored Apes, it's clear at this point they actually want to run this thing. They actually wanted to build a brand and make money. They weren't looking to like put out a bunch of apes, have the initial people buy in and go, sayonara, suckers. They're actually trying to build a business within the broader scam economy of crypto. But there's plenty of people who hobble together their own fly-by-night crypto currency or NFT project with the intent to just get as much money in that limited window of a few days, a few weeks into their their cryptocurrency or their NFT project quickly as possible. And then as soon as they make enough money that they're happy with, they tank their own project and run away with all the funds. It's happened numerous numerous times. With cryptocurrency, usually what happens is someone puts out some sort of meme coin, like a Doge
Like
coin.
Dogecoin, yeah.
Yeah. Like a Dogecoin copy. They try to like hop on whatever a big meme is, sell it as this is the future coin, get in now. They get like $500,000 worth of people jumping into this coin. And then, because they're running the show here, they keep most of the tokens for themselves. So as soon as it hits, as soon as the per token value hits a price where they're going to cash out and make $500,000, they go, oh, I'm happy. I'm not going to see where this goes. I'm out. They sell off all their tokens, taking everyone's money and leaving all the people who invested holding the bag of worthless tokens that are now worth 0.00001. That's what happens in the crypto world. With the NFT world, we've seen these NFT projects come out. They actually go ahead and get art created, and they mint the NFTs. They have people to buy in, and then all of a sudden, project just shuts down completely. The NFT project owner just runs away with the funds.
And then where do the Bored Apes go? I'm kidding.
Well-
I'm kidding. I'm just teasing. But guys,
just
like,
keep-
are
you
they?
can just-
But are they still bored?
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Does one look like me?
I don't know.
Wait, something that we haven't talked about, because you're talking about the
Sure.
Bored Ape guys, the guys that started Bored Ape. There was an article this week that sort of like outed them. It identified them and named them. And
BuzzFeed, right?
But BuzzFeed, I believe. Yeah, you sent
BuzzFeed
it to me.
scooped it.
Yeah,
Right.
and named
They-
the two guys that started, and they're just like regular guys. They're just like entertainment-y guys or whatever they do. And people who are into crypto and NFTs were really upset that their identities were revealed, because part of the allure for some people is that everything is anonymous, and they're saying that provides some type of equality. But what struck me is like, if you have no identity on the blockchain, then your wealth becomes your identity. The amount of wealth you possess is your identity.
Yes, that's essentially what they want. That is legitimately what they want. They want, and when I say they, I mean the people who've already made tons of money from this. And again, VCs. What this whole industry basically is a bunch of VCs upset they're not the ones at the head of the table of the old financial structure of like the big banks and the mega conglomerates. They're pissed that they're just billionaire VCs who don't have the power of the old money of the banking institutions.
Which,
So
by the
they're
way,
hoping-
nobody's a fan of old banking institutions
Right,
or whatever.
right,
They
right.
suck too.
Yes, that's the whole thing. That's the whole ridiculousness of this all. If we want to build a better world, something better than the system that already sucks, why are we going with the system that sucks just as much?
And sucks in new ways, like it's terrible for the environment.
Yes, exactly. And they'll always bring up, this is one of my favorites. Like they'll say like, yeah, Bitcoin is super wasteful, but you know how much the airlines waste? The airline companies, yeah, it sucks that they waste energy. Maybe we could find a new energy efficient way to fly planes all over the world.
Right. But
also,
I get to California in 6 hours, baby.
we literally, the economy, the entire global economy runs based on the airlines getting people all over the world. Like there is actually a utility that is the trade-off there for the energy consumption. And if you actually add up the amount of like, if like Bitcoin was trading at the same level of like the amount of airlines going, like flying every day, it's like Bitcoin actually ends up being more. The reason Bitcoin isn't worse is because not enough people are using it. Like we're at like just the few amount of people who use it. They are using up so much energy that we're even able to compare the amount of energy they use to literal industries that run countries.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Like it's just a ridiculous point for them to make.
And I do want to say, in absolute fairness, Matt, you can tell me this is a bad idea. I thought it was a great idea. I said to Busy that my idea is, if we're really trying to like lift people out of poverty and do all these things, why don't people that have massive crushing medical debt, massive student loans, each make a digital art And then Jimmy Fallon can be like, how much do you owe on your medical debt? $350,000. I'll buy your digital art for $350,000. You sign this thing saying you'll never make another piece of digital art again and your debt's wiped out. So I was like, that's, So in fairness, I do want to say somebody who listens to the podcast sent me something that there is some NFT group that is relieving medical debt with their proceeds. So people who are making money are using it to relieve medical debt. And that's great. That's a good intent. I'm sure as you made an analogy to Lululemon earlier, people did good things with the money that they made from Lululemon, I'm sure. But the bottom did fall out eventually and someone had to pay.
Well, the charity aspect of this is it's another scam in and of itself, honestly. There are a lot of these fly-by-night cryptocurrencies that I mentioned. They're usually called altcoins or meme coins or shit coins because that's how much they're actually worth. A lot of them use the charity aspect to market their coin. Mm-hmm. They'll say like, 20% of our proceeds, 10% of our proceeds. Well, number one, why is crypto necessary to give to this charity? It's not. You could just go and donate to the charities in and of itself. But then also, the money going to these charities that the owner of this crypto is so generously, the owners or whoever runs the foundation, however this particular currency using the charity angle runs, they are giving this 20% whatever to the charity. But where's this money coming from? It's not coming from revenue that they generated because, again, there's no revenue here. There's no product or service being sold. They are taking everyday average people who are investing money in this. They're taking their money that they're investing, hoping you will make this coin or project a success. And you're saying you're taking money out of that market and giving it to a charity, all to pump up your own project. Like, every charity coin I've ever seen, any charity aspect of crypto I've ever seen, has either failed because, again, you're taking money out of this project that badly needs this money for that investment to go up, or just an outright scam that they basically use the charity angle to convince people, hey, feel good and make money.
Right.
But you really can't do both. It's just not possible.
That's kind of what Melania Trump did, right? She minted some NFT and was like a portion of the proceeds are going to go to children's charity. Am I correct?
Right.
And then I'm like,
Yeah,
what portion though, Melania?
Right. I mean, and we all know that the Trump family, they're very giving, and everything they do in life, they make sure that
I was going to say, was it like Be Better? Is it is Be Best?
No, it's her eyes. I think it's called like Melania's eyes or something.
Yeah, it was fantastic art, the best. The greatest NFT you've ever seen. You got a great deal. You got a great deal on it.
So what do we do? Okay, so I have two questions for you, Matt. Number one, is life all about money? And number two, what do we do about all this? Like all this fucking bullshit and like people like up in our grills about NFTs and investing in crypto and like talking about it. What do we do?
Right. I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but the gaming community has it exactly right on how we handle these NFT promoters. The gaming world, and when I say gaming world, I mean people who buy video games hate this shit because they already get nickeled and dimed on microtransactions in games. You know, you buy a video game, you get to go home and play it. You already spent $60 or whatever on a video game. Then all of a sudden, a gaming developer releases a new character pack that you got to spend an extra $10, $20 for. They hate that shit. So they definitely don't want to see a new way to get nickel and dime. So they hate NFTs. So basically, anytime a gaming developer brings up the idea of, hey, we're gonna institute NFTs in our development process and start selling NFTs to our games, they immediately, hordes of gamers, just overrun these companies like Twitter accounts and Facebook pages, anywhere where they could get in touch with these gaming developers and say, don't you fucking dare. They my favorite is that NFT actually stands for no fucking thanks. They say we're not going to buy your shit anymore. That's it. And 9 times out of 10, these gaming developers then come out a few days later and say, we didn't think this through. We're going to hold this idea. We're not going to do it right now at the very least. Or if they don't, or we're dropping the idea altogether. And they have stopped so much of this shit just by saying, we don't fucking want this shit. We don't want every single thing we do to be commodified. We want to go home after working as, as a cashier or behind, in a kitchen. We want to go home and just enjoy playing video games because we want to enjoy doing it. We don't want to go home and go, oh, another thing to make money with. We got to hustle so we can make money with these video games. Because there's a lot of games. There's a lot of NFT games where basically you have to like literally pay money for every little portion of the game and get an NFT for everything. And if you don't have the money to get this thing, you can't play that part of the game or you can't have that character. And we're talking like thousands of bucks here. Like there are literally student loans that people who have a lot of the in-game like money, they give student loans to people so then they could play this game.
Oh my God.
And then they have to pay them back with a percentage of their in-game earnings. Like, do you realize how, like, it's bad enough that shit happens in the real world, and now that's happening in something that's supposed to be a fun hobby too? Like, it's ridiculous. And so gamers have shut this down in many aspects. And we got to do this for everything. The music world and the Hollywood, anywhere where the NFTs want to get their claws in, we got to say, we don't want this shit and we won't buy your product if you commodify every aspect of it.
Okay, so Matt, what you're saying is that we shouldn't try to sell NFTs to make a TV show.
No.
No. Okay. Got it. And Matt, you didn't answer my question. Is life all about money?
I mean, it's. I would like it to not be. It shouldn't be.
Me too.
It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. Sometimes you should just enjoy doing something without there being a monetary angle to it.
What do you enjoy doing?
What do I enjoy? I enjoy podcasting with you guys.
Thank you. But other than that, what do you enjoy doing? That's really sweet. But what do you enjoy doing in your life?
No, I mean, literally, I do live streams and podcasts. I actually enjoy doing it. I like talking to people. I come from a background of leftist politics and just have fun enjoying technology that's actually useful and provides some sort of utility and helps people and, makes society more equal and equitable. Like, social media has its shitty aspects, without a doubt. But the original promise of connecting people and giving everyone a voice is still there. Like, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg sucks and Facebook has done terrible shit. But at its core, the idea behind social media and social networks as a whole is still what it is. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now because you were able to reach out to me over Twitter, over a social media platform where we would have been able to have that sort of connection without that. At its core, that aspect of social media is still there. There is no core aspect of any of what they're pushing as Web 3, because social media is Web 2. That's the old web, they say. There's nothing at its core of Web 3 that provides any utility whatsoever at all. Like, it's just a way for you to put money into something in hopes you will sell it for profit to the next sucker who comes along. That's all it is.
It's a bummer, but it's also good to know that my gut was right.
Right.
And also
You don't even get shitty leggings.
but anyway, thank you so much. I can't wait to continue listening to your podcast,
Thank
Scam
you.
Economy, because it's hard enough, man. It's fucking hard enough without feeling like, wait, am I getting scammed
Right.
by this shit?
Right.
And should I be
Right.
investing in Ethereum? And then you feel like, oh shit, wait, what are we doing? What's anyone doing? And then
Right.
is money everything? And it's not. I'm going to say
Right.
it's not.
I mean, you could say the same thing about lottery tickets or gambling. I mean, that's the closest that this is.
It does feel like gambling.
It like if that's how it was being presented, I'd probably be like, you know what, they're telling people exactly what it is. You're gambling with your money, and remember, the house usually wins, so you're likely going to lose.
Right.
But if you want to do this, if this is what you want to do, that's on you. But even gambling has regulations on it. But that's not what they're trying to do here. They're trying to tell you that this is the future. This is the technological future. This is the financial future. This is going to be your life. Your identity is going to be connected to this. Everything you do, online and offline in some aspects, are going to be involved with crypto and NFTs and the blockchain and Web3. And like, do we
No.
really bet everything?
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that we need to just say it's corny as fuck and it's probably a scam. And guys, we're too fucking smart for it. And also, if my 13-year-old is rolling their eyes and calling bullshit, then it's not the wave of the future. Yeah. Right?
That made me so happy. Because that's who they're banking on. Like if the youth of today, if they can't pull it over their eyes, then this shit is doomed to fail. It's just how this stuff works. There's no way that people get rich off of this without more people losing, because for those people to get rich, that money has to come from the losers because no revenue is being generated.
Right. That's right. All right, Matt. You're awesome. Thank you for helping educate us. And then I look forward to learning more on your podcast. Is this just going to be ongoing? It feels like, this is a side hustle podcast from Doomed? What's happening?
Right. Well, this podcast is actually getting off the bat more attention than Doom did, honestly. So this might be quickly taking over. But the reason I went into this because cryptocurrency as a whole is sort of inherently right wing, far right wing.
Well, it's libertarian, which is in its origin, right?
Yes,
it does have political roots of hardcore libertarians, get rid of the banks and don't trust the man and whatever.
Yes, the Satoshi, the guy, the anonymous guy, or whoever who founded Bitcoin.
We know it's a guy. Matt, come on.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'm trying to be fair.
A woman would never perpetrate
know.
this bullshit on the world.
Well. His reasoning and a lot of the early Bitcoin people, their reasoning was very ideological. They distrust the government. They hate that the treasury prints money, and that we're not the gold use the gold standard anymore. It's not backed by gold anymore. And this really bothers them. They're gold bugs in a lot of sense, which has a really strong libertarian right wing Ron Paul revolution founding, and so this stuff is inherently right wing at its core, and you see that basically a lot of white supremacists and neo-Nazis have made tons of money with cryptocurrency, because when they get banned from PayPal or whatever, using their accounts to fundraise for hate speech and for hateful acts, they then go to crypto because they can fundraise via that. And because they got in early, and because that was their mode of fundraising, and when the whole crypto market skyrocketed, they ended up making a ton of money. So basically, it helped a lot of fascists make a lot of money. And so you just see all these crypto funds being used to basically fund white supremacist movements. And that's what my other podcast is about, Doomed. That you just get into this stuff. It's impossible to talk about, right-wing politics and not get into cryptocurrency. And then I saw so many people were getting into it outside of the political realm in terms of just this should be an investment. I'm going to put my money into this. This is my nest egg for my children's future. Oh boy, please don't do that. The idea of decentralization is a beautiful concept. That's what this is all about. There's no centralized, there's not the government doesn't control any of this. There's no big, it's all decentralized. That's what they claim. the people who hold most of the Bitcoin, the very rich and wealthy who hold most of the Bitcoin and other cryptos, they really do have a lot of power. Like, this is not all that decentralized, quite honestly. But the idea that decentralization is a beautiful thing, you have to sort of hope that everyone is coming from that same level of trying to work together towards a better society. Like there were good things I saw that tried to be decentralized, like Occupy Wall Street in 2011. Like, I was down there covering it, and they had great ideas and they created a great movement. A lot of those things got pulled into other social movements, but the core movement fizzled out because it was decentralized. And when you see that happens, it's because there's no group or organization who has the central authority to sort of take everything and funnel it into one direction that'll take it towards a successful route.
Matt Binder, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I mean, it's good to get this stuff out, and it's good to see a celebrity who's so anti-crypto and NFTs. It's honestly heartwarming.
We're back. Thank you, Matt Binder, for joining us. Scam Economy is the podcast. And sort of right before we got to it, we started talking about like gut feelings. And I've actually been thinking a lot about gut feelings lately, and thinking a lot about what I mentioned, that I feel like the whole anti-mask movement is based on like not wanting to feel stupid for 2 seconds and then making yourself look so much more stupid by like ranting and raving against something that, like, if you just did it quietly, I don't think anyone would even care.
Right.
I don't think anyone would care if you didn't wear your mask. They just care if you like go to a school board meeting and threaten to harm people or whatever, if you try to start a fist fight in Target because everyone's wearing a mask. That's when people care, and I get it. Like, people are, people have all of their reasons that they feel like they're doing this, but I really just feel like for the most part, it's just because people don't want to feel stupid. And I get it, because we all feel stupid doing something new. But just talking about like your gut feelings and listening to your gut, like a lot of times we're spending so much time trying to like dismiss a thought that's like running through our mind, like to stop thinking something. And like, it's such a weird thing, right? Especially now when we're spending so much time like being introspective or whatever. So like, I just wanted to talk a little bit about it, because I feel like, yes, like with crypto or NFT, if something keeps running through your head, no matter what it is or what it's about, like, why don't you just like go one step and see how it goes in like figuring out why you think that and why you keep having this thought?
Well, do you want me to?
Yes, I know the answer, but...
Well, what do you think the answer is?
I think the answer is you're afraid to know the answer.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
What do you think?
I think that people around you, people around others,
around people,
are very quick to dismiss, and
this is true.
Very quick to justify other interpretations, and very quick to uphold systems that are in place that go against a gut feeling. And so I think that, and especially as women, get taught from a very early age that your gut feeling is wrong.
Yeah, that you're being hysterical.
Invalid.
You're being paranoid.
And you're on your period.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
What's a gut feeling that you've had that was not like taken seriously and then true? Do you have any? I have a million.
I'm sure you have a million. I think that I always have a gut feeling about like smaller things. Like I think I really can tell when someone's lying to me. And then it's a matter of whether or not I go with the lie or call them out. And like, for the most part, I think I usually allow them to continue lying because I'm like, well, if that's what they want to do, I'm like, and also if you're going to confront someone about lying and they're just going to say that they're not lying or whatever, like, to what end, so I'm sort of like, okay, I know this person's lying. I'm going to act accordingly, but I'm not really going to like call them on their lie or whatever. Because here's the thing about liars. They're so great at it and they're going to have some answer. People who are experienced liars are hardly will ever have nothing to say when you call them on it. Hardly will ever be like, you're right, you got me, So I think things like that, and just like, like that feeling that you get when you walk into a room and everyone stops talking and they were talking about you. You know what I mean? Like you just like
it's a bad art friend. Fucking that was the crux of the bad art friend. Am I wrong?
That's exactly what it is. And it's like, and every time people will say, oh, it's not all about you. Stop but it's just like you have that gut feeling and it. And like, but also what are people supposed to say? Like, yes, we were talking about you. Sorry, we're all saying.
Well, no, they're talking shit. They can't.
Yeah. So it's like, as a parent, this is probably controversial. I have tried not to put my children in the position of lying about something.
No, this is what every child psychologist says, by the way, just FYI.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Because I just like, I know what I know.
You're not supposed to ask children when you know the answer.
Right.
You're not supposed to you're not supposed to try to trap them in a lie.
Right. Yeah. And I just, beyond trapping them in a lie, I never wanted to say, like, what were you doing? Just because, like, what are they supposed to say? What is a kid supposed to say? I was doing every single thing you told me not to do when you sent me out of the house tonight. I was doing something private that is, so I've tried to, not put people in a position to lie, but whatever. My kids and people included, because it's very rare that people are just like readily honest in my experience. But so that's most of my gut feelings are like around when people tell you like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. And you're like, okay.
But like, here's what I want to like. This is interesting, actually. Oh my God, it's like when a man comes up to you when you're filming something and they're like, you know what? Actually, you're really funny. Or when somebody's like, you know what? Actually, that's a very intelligent point.
Yeah. Tell me you thought the opposite about me prior to this. Without
is it
telling
an intelligent point? No. But this is like off the subject of what you had started to say. I'm not trying to neg you. Oh, and now I forget my point. God damn it. My brain doesn't work anymore, Caissie. I'm so tired. But
you need a little sleep.
Sleep. I need a little. I need like a rest.
Yeah. That's what you need.
Wait, what is it? A vacation?
Maybe this'll be the year you learn your lesson, but I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Is that your gut? Because that's mine as well.
My gut is that you will not learn that.
I'm not going to learn it. I'm just not going to learn it. But I think that I think you're onto something. I think that the fear of looking or feeling stupid is what prevents so many people from asking questions, from just being honest in what their feelings about any particular thing are. Like they're so afraid that somebody's going to be like, ha ha, you're dumb. Like Ralph from fucking The Simpsons or something, whatever.
That's Nelson Muntz.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
You got to correct me about hot dog on a stick, so now we're even. Nelson Muntz is the ha 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 guy from The Simpsons.
Nelson. Ha ha. I've never done a voice on The Simpsons, Caissie. Never done a voice.
You could
I've never asked.
You could do Nelson. He's one of my favorite characters because it's such a simplification of something that people do all the time. And we're constantly trying to make each other feel fucking stupid for things. And
Why? Why?
Guys, can I tell you my most hated fucking thing? When some guy is like, you've never seen Dune? Like what? Like that's a huge crime to admit, or you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you never saw all 900 Star Warses? Like, it's so weird, and it's such a guy thing to do. But I hate when women do it as well. I hate when anyone does it because it's just like, why do you want to make someone feel stupid or like negligent for that, for not having seen a movie? It couldn't be more trivial. And also, here's an opportunity to be like, oh my God, I'm jealous of you. I wish I could watch that movie for the first time. You should check it out sometime if you're into that kind of thing. That's like saying exactly the same thing in a way where you're just not being like a total twat.
Do you want to hear some movies that I've never seen before?
Yes.
I've never seen any of the Godfather movies, not one.
You've never seen the Godfather movies?
Not one, motherfucker. Come at me. I've only seen, you know this. I've only seen the first one where Robert Downey Jr. is a superhero. Iron Man? Is that Iron Man? I've only seen.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank God. I've only seen number one Iron Man and Black Panther. That's it.
No other Marvel movies.
What else? What else can I tell you? I've never read Consider the Lobster by David. What's his name?
Foster Wallace?
Yes.
That's okay. I don't think you have to.
I know, but so many bros are like, Consider the Lobster. You know what I mean? I've never seen The Sopranos all the way through. I've never seen Game of Thrones. You know that. I don't know.
There's lots of things because there's lots of things to watch and read and see, and you're not deficient for not having seen any of those things. That's just somebody telling you that they can't relate to you because they're bad at relating. And so they were like disappointed that the one thing that they thought that they were going to be able to relate to you on is not on the table. And it's like embarrassing because like a normal person whose brains aren't broken would say, oh, you've never seen any of the Godfather movies? What kind of movies are you into? Maybe I've seen some of those movies. Let's talk about that. It's weird to tell somebody
weird
to try to make someone feel like they've failed because they haven't seen a movie or because they don't like a food or whatever. It's so silly. But these are the ways that we try to make each other feel fucking stupid all of the time. And so no wonder we all feel stupid. We've been told our whole lives that so much shit about us is stupid.
It's so interesting. I'm in my last week of work. I'm really going to miss it. I love this show. I love it. And also, I am exhausted to the point of maybe not being able to see straight, which is an interesting place to be whilst filming a television show. Also, I want to say this. I do want to say this. Just if you're listening, you're like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I get it. I get paid too much for what I do, that is true. However, historically speaking, in the past, like I've gotten, on Cougar Town, when I was on town, sometimes I'm like Aunt Sassy, but when I was on town, guys, we would do 3 weeks on and then we would get 1 week off. Okay.
Right.
And like, it was sort of reasonable because what happens is that these days, Caissie knows, I am fried.
Yeah.
Fried.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And so anyway, what was my point? I literally don't remember my point. I'm about to end this thing. And I'm going to miss it so much. And I love these girls so much. I love them. I love these ladies that I work with so much. I'm so grateful to be able to have their I mean, it's so weird to even say because it feels so corny, but like sisterhood, like we like support each other. We like are like, what's this person going through today? What's this person? We're like, what am I? Like everybody like shows up for each other. It's a thing I've never experienced ever in my career because you've never had like the first people on the call sheet all be women, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, sure.
But I think it was Sarah that was like, I think social media is the scourge of the earth. And I think blah, 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 blah. And I think like it's terrible, terrible, terrible. And it makes people feel bad. And I was like, I get it. I do get it. However, like, here's this other side of it, which is that like, I feel like I have connected with so many people. Our guest today wouldn't have been our guest if not for social medias, right?
Right. Yeah, we wouldn't have known about him and that's how we reached out to him.
And you're able to find like-minded people and connect with them and have your experiences validated like by others who live 3,000 miles away from you or whatever. And I think that that is something.
Yes.
But I also do think there is a time to just shut it the fuck down for yourselves.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that you have to, well, everybody's experience of social media is different, you know? And so somebody like Sarah Bareilles is using it to promote her work, and I think she's using it to engage with fans. But I'd also venture to say that she probably sees a great deal of things that she'd rather not see on there. People saying things to her that she'd rather not hear, just because they think they can, because she's famous and they think it doesn't make a difference. That happens all the time, you know? And we've talked about trolls before and just how out of hand and out of line people get because they just forget how people are supposed to act and treat each other. So Sarah's experience is valid and her thoughts on that are valid. And she probably looks at it maybe as like a little bit of a necessary evil. I think for some people who are like kind of living an isolated existence, it can probably be like a lifeline to a community that they might not have otherwise. You know, and that goes for like young people all the way through senior citizens who are like, you know, it's just my way that I like get to reach out and communicate with people daily. But then also by the same token, I think like for whatever reason, some people might be living a relatively isolated existence and they're living like a relatively isolated virtual existence for whatever reason. They haven't been able to successfully form a community on social media or online. And so their experience is really different too. And I have seen people that have like 1 or 5 followers being like, why am I even doing this? No one pays attention to this anyway. And like, I'm alone in life and I'm alone on here and I'm just like talking into the wind and this isn't helpful to me or it's not health. And that's like, that's sad, you know? And I can't claim to have any knowledge of how you fix that. I mean, we've tried to do it a little bit for people and saying like, let's organize group chats for people. And that's something that I'm so proud of with this podcast, because that's something that we did right from the jump, organized group chats for people or helped them organize their group chats. And those are like still going strong. Like babies have been born since, you know.
Is
like,
that true?
Yeah, people that are in Busy Phillips is doing her best group chats have like gone to meet the babies that have been born from other group chat members. And so that's really nice. Like that means a lot to me. And I'm always the person that's like, if someone's like that I know that doesn't have like a big platform, is like, what I really want is just to meet someone to like maybe go to dinner with once in a while. Like I'll totally put that on my Facebook and be like, here's my friend Earl. He lives in Indiana. He really wants to meet someone to go to dinner with him and like hope for the best. And it doesn't always work out. But again, like those are things that like if someone makes themselves vulnerable to me, like then, you know, depending on who it is, within reason, I'll do what's in my power to try to do, at least try. But I know it can be really messy and scary. And it's really scary to join a dating website sometimes, but it's also really scary to be lonely. And so I just think that I don't know why everybody is feeling so lonely. I feel like people that are in big houses with big families are even feeling a little bit lonely. At least at times right now, and I don't know why that is. But I would love to try to help people figure it out. I would love to try to hear why other people think that is.
Do you feel lonely?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes like my husband is at work and like my kids are living their lives and, you know, and Eli has a job and he's busy with that. And I'm so grateful for that. And Lincoln's in school. And so sometimes, yeah, I'm just kind of like on my own, you know, just in my house or whatever. And I'm also like, well, this is a really good example. This is like our friend Paul F. Tompkins, like when he was my friend when I first got texting. You know what I mean? And like, I was so anxious around the etiquette of texting. Like, and so he would like text me all the time. And then he would be like, you never text me first. And I'd be like, well, I kind of feel like, who am I to just bust into your life with a text? You know what I mean? And he was like, it's not busting into my life. It's just like, just send me a fucking text, you know? And so he had to like educate me on the idea that I wasn't a burden in our friendship and that like hearing from me would be a pleasure. And that if he was busy, he wouldn't text me back right away. And it was no big deal. And if he could text me back right away, great, then we're having like a great conversation, and vice versa. He wouldn't expect me to text him back right away if I was busy. And like those are things that like I didn't even know. Those are social things that I didn't even know. I talk a lot about our friend Ashley Nicole Black and how she teaches me to be a better friend all the time, because when she's thinking about me, she will mention it to me. Oh, I was thinking about you because, and it's never anything deep. Like she's the it's so silly, but we have this thing about like scratching a lemon, because one time she was trying to think of like the phrase for zesting a lemon, and she said I was scratching a lemon, and it made me laugh so hard that she said scratching a lemon. And so now anytime either one of us zests a lemon, we text the other person, I'm scratching a lemon right now and thinking of you. And like, it's so silly, but like, I would not have known how to do that prior. I would not have known, or I wouldn't have had the courage to like tell someone that I was thinking about them. So I think if I'm like that, and if that's the way that my life went, where I ended up being an adult who could tend to isolate and feel like I wasn't in a position to reach out to anyone or to tell someone I was thinking about them, or that I was lonely, and to figure out how to solve my own loneliness sometimes, then I figure there's got to be a lot of other people that feel that way, I would think. Do you ever feel lonely?
Oh yeah, all the time. But I'm like a horrifically like codependent human. Like I'm like trying to I don't know.
Well, I'm a very independent human, you know, like
yeah.
don't
Same.
You know, so
no. Same.
I like to do a lot of things by myself, but then sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I've been by myself for like so long and I haven't seen another soul, and I've like isolated myself, and that feels bad, you know? But I think so many people must feel that way.
Yeah, because Caissie, I'm going to just say it. I think you solved the riddle of the dissatisfaction of this time of people. And I'm like, I won't say generation because, you know, I've like been working with Ada Calhoun, who wrote the thing about Gen X. And I have been looking at millennials and then also Gen Z and then thinking about a lot of this stuff and like generational stuff and like whatever. But it's so interesting because I think what you said last week in the emergency pod is actually the crux of the whole fucking thing, which is that no one, not Gina Linetti, my dog, I'm serious, not any person that I have ever met in my life wants to be an individualist. Not any person or pet that I have ever met wants to just be out for themselves.
Right.
They want to be a part of a pack. And they want to feel like they're a part of a pack. And the biggest lie that the devil ever sold us is that it's all about you and that's it. And like at the end of the day, this thing about NFTs, the thing about cryptocurrency, getting rich quick and all of it goes back to that. Like, we're not meant to hoard. We're not meant to be Gollum in Lord of the Rings. We're not meant to be like my precious. We're meant to be like, come here. I have something really warm and lovely. And it's food, it's this, it's that. It's my Grandma Moot's crochet pattern. I mean, I'm bringing myself into this like in a bigger way than it needs to be. But listen, that's going to happen because I have an ego because I've been raised in this society. But I'm just saying, let's like peel back those fucking layers, the layers of the onion, and the layers of whatever. And like, that's it, man. Like, come upstairs, come to my house, like sit down, have a place to stay. Like, we don't need all of this. This isn't meant for just me. This is meant for all of us because every human deserves like to have a group of people surrounding them, supporting them, and like holding them up because so quickly it can fucking flip. It's there by the grace of God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think it's interesting, you know, because I know Jimmy Fallon a little bit, you know. He wouldn't.
I know him a lot of bit.
Yeah. And I don't think that he'd call me a friend, certainly, but I think
his wife might call me a friend.
There you go. But what I want to say about him is that he's always been so welcoming and friendly to me and in a really genuine and consistent way, you know, always paid so much attention to my son when he was a baby because we worked in the same place where my son went to daycare, you know, so like this is why I'm like, ask the questions, ask the follow-up questions before you buy into something. Because I think that everyone has something to give. And I think that, you know, people want to gain things, obviously. Like, you know, you want to have a good life. You want to make a good living. I'm not gonna begrudge anyone that. But I think you do have to ask the next questions, like, where is this coming from? You know, and like, well, we talk a lot about things that we almost did, with, you know, with our TV show and with our plan for post TV show, but like someone offered us like a really good deal at one point to do a project. And we just kept asking, where is that money coming from?
Where is it coming from?
and they couldn't answer.
They wouldn't.
So
they would not answer.
They wouldn't answer, and so we just said no, based on our gut.
It was
that like
lot of. It was a lot of.
it was a lot of money, and like I mean, like. And like real talk, it's much easier for you to walk away from a sum of money like that because of what your career is. It was very hard for me to turn down
And I said
that
to
amount.
you at the time, Caissie, I said to you, I remember the fucking conversation with you. I called you and I was like, I know I have my Olay deal. I know I can get money from doing these things with brands. I know this is a bigger deal, but it just feels fucking weird and off. And and I want you to just do a gut check. And if it does with you too, like, let's not.
Yeah. And so that, you know, and it's one of those situations where like, if they had been able to give me that money, like the money is money, you know, but like they couldn't answer or they wouldn't answer where the money was coming from.
It was like the answers. If they had given us the answers that we were asking for.
Right. But we just weren't able to like say yes to it because we just felt bad about it. And it turned out that we were like probably right. I don't fucking know because,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with their business. I think it ultimately went on to be unsuccessful, which means that either that money didn't exist or like it came from, but I don't think everybody involved with it had bad intentions. I just think that they weren't asking the questions. I'm sure that some people did have bad intentions. And like, I'm sure people talk themselves into the idea that their intentions aren't bad all the time. I think people probably are like, you know, convincing themselves all the time that like they just have to say certain things to get everyone on board and that it's going to be a success, you know, down the line. But I think we all deserve honesty. And I think that people have to be honest with themselves and just ask the next question, even if you're scared of knowing the answer. Because if someone tells you the truth and you don't like it, then you're informed and you can walk away. If someone isn't honest with you, you can do a gut check on that, being able to say, like, I don't think you're being honest. And if someone doesn't answer at all, that is an answer, you know? So just.
Okay. So wait. So Birdie has read the Hunger Games books.
Yes.
And then watched the movies. And because I'm a little bit old for them and whatever. And guys, I don't know if you noticed about me, if you have figured this out by now. I don't watch like movies that like everybody's watching. Not because I think I'm cooler, but more that I don't have the time. And not that everyone doesn't have the time. Like I get it. Like everybody's busy, but more just like in those moments, I would rather get a facial than watch Hunger Games.
Yeah, you're making choices.
I make the choices I make are not to go to the movie theater. They're to like get a facial or like have my hair colored. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say I'm not judging you for loving them going to the movies. I'm just saying in the last, I'm not even joking, the last decade, my choices of my free time have been taken up with other things than going to movies. Okay?
Right.
Is that fair? Okay.
That's fair.
So Birdie read the Hunger Games books and then had to watch the movies and was like writing these. I mean, I don't even understand what 7th grade is anymore. You know what I mean? Writing these like comparative essays about the shit. So Birdie watched first Hunger Games and then I watched the first one with them after like they watched it the second time. And I was like, ooh, this is actually a really good movie. Really good. I mean, I don't know, when did it come out? Like 2016? I have no idea.
A long time ago.
So then the second movie, Birdie read the second book and then watched Catching Fire. And then was like, over the weekend, was like, Mom, watch Catching Fire with me. It's so good. I think it's better than the first one. I didn't really love the first one because, to be honest with you, like many people in America, I think, the idea of children murdering one another was honestly
It's unpalatable.
well, it's unpalatable, but also like not far from the reality. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And therefore, too upsetting for me to watch. Like Birdie was like, "You're
Right.
more upset about this than me," and I was like, "Yes, I am," because I'm a fucking 42-year-old woman who has now watched since my sophomore year of college, which was Columbine, till now, and nothing changes. So,
Right.
yeah, Bird, I do find this to be unpalatable as a movie. So anyway, Birdie was like, the second Hunger Games movie isn't kids killing each other. It's like, whatever, adults. So anyway, fine. So I watched the second Hunger Games movie with Birdie over the weekend. Two things happen. I want to talk about both of them. The first one is that Jeffrey Wright's character says a thing. And what he says is to Katniss Everdeen, there is always a flaw in the system. There's always a flaw in the system. You just have to find the flaw in the system. There's always a flaw in the system, which I'm only bringing up because, I don't know, Joe Rogan, the world, NFTs. There's always a flaw in the system, guys. That's all I'm saying to you. There is a flaw in the system that you can see. It may be sort of imperceptible. It may be only certain people can kind of see the flaw, but there is always a motherfucking flaw in the system. Number one. Number two, what the fuck was number two? Okay, wait. Hold on. I'm going to try to trace it back. I'm so tired. I'm now drunk. Haven't eaten enough today. Choked on the cannellini bean. Wait. I'm going to get it. Oh, but no, wait. The second thing, it was just so stupid. The second thing was just like a funny story about like Birdie being my kid. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, we watched the second Hunger Games movie, right?
Yeah.
And then like the credits roll up and I'm like, oh, like gutted. I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. This is Saturday night. And so I'm just letting the credits roll, right? As we're watching it. And we're sitting there on my bed, me and Bird, okay? Because like crickets with Mark, because it's inappropriate for an 8-year-old, okay, to watch Hunger Games. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my God. So we're like freaking out about Hunger Games. The credits are rolling. And then Birdie's like, out of nowhere, Birdie's like, why does the name Elizabeth Banks look familiar? The name Elizabeth Banks. Why does the name Elizabeth Banks look familiar? Okay, guys, backstory. This isn't a Hollywood break. This is a Busy Phillips break. I've known Liz Banks for literally since the baby carrots poisoned me. I've known her that long, maybe longer even. But we've been in each other's lives in many different capacities since baby carrots poisoned me. Like birthday parties, and then we had children that were similar ages, and then our kids ended up at the same school in Los Angeles.
Right.
And then we were like in this extended group. I mean, Liz was at my 40th birthday party.
Your birthday party
in Mexico. Oh, when our talk show started, Liz was one of the only like people in my peer group that sent me an email that day. You remember?
Aww,
Saying
that's
like
so nice.
congratulations, and I'm like so excited to watch. Okay, anyway, Liz has like been around. I've known Liz for a million years.
You've honored her we've talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
You've honored her.
I did. I honored her at that
where
thing
we made fun of the guy.
Yes, sure. I've known Liz forever. She's known me forever. And she's known Birdie since Birdie was born. Like
Right.
I've known her kids. So anyway, Birdie goes. So this is this is what I'm saying to you. How fucking weird it must be to be my child sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
by the way, also, when Liz directed Charlie's Angels,
Yeah.
she emailed me and was like, hey, like really like the demo is like your kid's age, like Birdie's age, not Cricket, but like Birdie's age. Will you come to this if I do like a little like test screening type deal? Will you bring Birdie and maybe some of their friends and come? Like, sure. We came and then like saw it again. I mean, I'm repeating myself multiple times. We've been friends for a long time. I'm just trying to explain to you guys that like this isn't an actor that I like kind of know.
Yeah, you haven't just run into her.
Right. Like at some parties. Because there are those people too.
Yes.
But Banks is like, we're on the board together at the reproductive rights thing. Like, been to my house, swam in my pool. We've gone to their house, whatever. So anyway, credits are scrolling. And Birdie's like, why is the name Elizabeth Banks familiar to me? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, Birdie, do you not know who Effie Trinket is? And Birdie's like, who's Effie Trinket? And I was like, Liz, my friend Liz. Liz Banks, Magnus's mom. And Birdie's face and their brain broke. And I watched it happen in real time. And Birdie was like, Liz is Elizabeth Banks? And I was like, yeah, dude. Our friend Liz is the actor Elizabeth Banks. And Birdie goes, I thought that lady was just a director. She was like, I thought that lady was just a director who just directed movies, Charlie's Angels. I didn't know she was Elizabeth Banks, the actor who was in, and then Birdie's like, who was in Lego? Lego. I was like, yeah, she was the voice in Lego Movie. And she's Effie Trinket. And I was like, yeah, honey, she's Effie Trinket. Yeah, she's Effie Trinket. And Birdie
Their
was
mind
like,
got blown.
so fucking blown. And I know this is unrelatable, guys, because I understand that like kids haven't had barbecues at Effie Trinket's house. But I'm just saying it was so cute and so sweet and like so funny. Is this unrelatable? Should we cut this all out?
No, I think it's very cute and funny. My kids knew Mr. Rogers. What are you going to do? I mean, you
guys, you can't see because it's a podcast. My eyebrows raised so high just now.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's like a perk of the business. It's just a fact of the business. Sometimes you know Liz Banks. Sometimes you know Mr. Rogers.
Okay. So anyway, it was so cute. And then Birdie was like,
that's adorable.
Starstruck, like in our weird fucking apartment, like starstruck, and was like, oh my God, that's Liz. I know her. She knows me. Oh my God, I know Effie Trinket. Because like all things, like Birdie got so into Hunger Games and is so so Team PETA. And also I want to say this. I would just like to say this. And guys, I know I'm drunk now because I've had zero food aside from the cannellini bean that I choked on earlier. And 3 turkey roll-ups. What's a turkey roll-up, you might ask? A turkey roll-up is turkey wrapped around cheese and lettuce and avocado that I then dip in mustard because sets don't carry gluten-free bread. Anyway, that's
you
all I'm
think
saying.
Hollywood's so cushy, but
Not in
no
New York,
gluten-free
babe.
bread.
Not in New York, babe. Anyway, the point being,
That's really cute.
Birdie was so cute about it. Also, Birdie's being cute about everything.
Interesting.
No, I mean, just like I love them so much right now. Do you do that? Do you go through these phases with your kids where you're like, I'm so in love with my kid right now. I can't take it.
Oh my gosh, of course. And I've also gone through phases where I'm like constantly giving them the finger behind their back.
Oh,
So,
also Birdie was such an asshole to me like 3 days ago that I do get that. Like I was like, Birdie, I'm exhausted. Please, like give me a fucking break. I cannot watch one more episode of Scum again for the 4th time. Please.
Yeah.
But Birdie is being really cute. And we just like, well, also Caissie, because your kids are actually very much older than my kids.
Yeah.
But like, and maybe people listening understand too, like if you have a kid that has gone through a really, really tough moment in their life, and then you like come out on the other side and you feel the sort of release of that tension, and you see it in them. You see like the light and like all the stuff coming back.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it on earth. And I do want to say this. I really want to say this. I want to just say this because I don't know who needs to hear this. Somebody does. If you're in the darkest part right now with your kid, stay the course. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. Stay the course.
Yeah, that is the hope. Keep asking questions. Keep reaching. That's a perfect example of something where you might shut yourself down and not reach out and not ask questions and not ask people what their thoughts are, but it's a perfect example of where you need somebody.
Can I tell you something really weird?
What?
So I was looking at pictures as I want to do. As I am wont to do. And I realized that Birdie and I are flying overseas to Europe on the exact same day that we did in 2020.
Oh,
Interesting.
Huh.
I know. And a little bit, I felt like it's like a Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind vibes.
Yeah.
It was exactly 2 years ago. This coming Saturday, I guess. I flew with Birdie to London right before the pandemic because Birdie had been horribly bullied and was really struggling. And I was grasping at straws. And I used my frequent flyer miles and flew birds to London to meet their favorite YouTubers, thinking, I don't know what I was thinking anything, let's try, let's see.
Well,
let's see.
yeah. I mean, I've been in that position before where you're just like, what can I do? In my case, I let my child watch the South Park movie, which was not appropriate for his age, but I was like, I'll do anything to see this kid smile.
Well, I used all of the frequent flyer miles that I had accumulated for the previous decade to fly my child to London on on the same day that now 2 years later, I'm going with them to Stockholm, but things are so different.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you could remove the chunk of time, right? Like we get on this plane. Let's say we get on this plane on Saturday. And what if you just lifted out perfectly cleanly the last 2 years? What? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of wild.
It's kind of wild. Yeah. But I'm glad you can't lift out, even as hard as everything was. I'm glad that we can't do that because Birdie is now much better equipped to deal with so many things. You are now much better equipped to understand and deal with so many things. And you are also both better equipped to help anyone who might be going through the same thing. You can be now the thing that you wish existed when you were going through all of this. You probably wished that you knew someone that had been through the same thing and that you could talk to. And now you can be that for someone else if the situation should arise. And I know that makes a huge difference to someone that might need it. You know, I know that it does. But I'm very happy for Bird. I'm very happy that they're getting to go to Sweden. We can talk more about that next week, right before you go. But what are you... I know one thing you're doing your best at this week. You were on Caitlin Bristow's podcast, OTV, Off the Vine.
The last season of The Bachelor / Bachelorette that I ever watched.
Was Caitlin Bristow's
Yeah, I fucking love
season?
her. I love
Yeah.
her. I love her. I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's got a podcast, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that she had one Dancing with the Stars because, again, you know your girl. I mean,
yeah,
maybe
you're not. Yeah.
You do know your girl. I'm not. You guys, I'm watching the Hunger Games. You know what I mean? Like, I'm behind on the pop culture. But
in case you don't know, your favorite from The Bachelorette,
who I love,
Caitlin, she's doing great. She won Dancing with the Stars. She's engaged to Jason from Becca Cuffrin's season of The Bachelorette.
Sure. But also she has a great podcast. And I love her podcast. And I've been listening to it. And she likes
and it's
wine
called,
like me. Called
Off the Vine. And you were on it. Did you have fun?
I loved it. She's so sweet. I love her.
I bet a bunch of you already knew about this podcast, by the way, because I think it's been on since like 2017. But I can't wait to hear your episode. You know, it's kind of like this podcast. Like we have our things that is like the format of our podcast, but then it's just like hilarious in general and feels like you're hanging out with your best friends. And it comes out twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
Well, she doesn't have kids, so you know what I mean. Anyway, you can listen to new episodes of Off the Vine every Tuesday and Thursday on your favorite podcast app.
And I'm assuming your episode's going to come out on a Tuesday because you were a celebrity guest. So
100%.
Look out for Busy on Caitlin Bristow's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you doing your best at this week?
Okay, so I've gotten back into my workout journey.
That's good.
3 times. I have worked out 3 times.
Okay. Trampoline workout?
Yes, I've been doing a trampolining thing, and it's been hard. And my body hurts. Not my knees, not the bad part of my body, but like just it's crazy.
Sore.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to get back into a thing. Like I'm like out of shape. And like my whole thing was like, I was in shape. You know what I mean? And so it's hard for me. And my ego is like, this is the ego vibe, guys. My ego is like, fuck you. Don't do it. Just stop. But I had to give myself grace. And I just kept thinking over and over again, grace, 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 grace. This sucks, this sucks, this sucks. So I did 3 times a week. I did 3 times this past week. I don't mean 3 times a week. I did 3 times this past week, which, considering like my work schedule and everything, felt like a win.
Yeah.
And also felt like good. Like I'm doing it. Like I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm like getting it. I'm doing it. I'm getting back in there, whatever. It's becoming a part of my like muscle memory, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I am attempting to give myself a fucking break, which is not easy for me, but I'm doing it. And that's what I'm doing my best at. That is what I'm doing my best at.
I think that's great. I think that, well, that's the whole point with working out, right? Is that like you want to do it to the point where you feel good. And if you're hurting yourself or you're punishing yourself or you're working out, just so much where it just feels like that's all you're doing, maybe that's where you have to like do a check and a reevaluation. That's good for anyone.
Well, and here's what happened in like workout. Maybe I've worked out 4 times this week. In workout number 3, I was like, she was like, okay, so can we do like, we're going to do one more cardio or whatever. And I was like, actually, this like weird pinch, hurt, pain in my knee is happening. And I think I should stop because I know I have a workout booked tomorrow. I think we should not continue with this thing because I would like to be able to show up tomorrow. And I'm a little bit fearful that if I continue with this, it'll be too painful tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, amazing. Okay, let's do abs. I was like, oh yeah, my abs are not injured.
Well, I think that sounds great. I am doing my best. What am I doing my best at?
What are you doing your best at?
I'm juggling a lot of small jobs, which, there's, I can talk for days about like the procrastination and the avoidance of all the things that you have to do. But there's so many now that it all equals one full-time low-paying job that I just have to get it done. No, I mean, you know how it is. It's like these small little things that, or maybe you don't, I don't know. Freelancers, you know how it is. Somebody's like, oh, it's super simple. It's going to take you a couple days. It's going to be spread out over a couple weeks. It's this amount of money. And then you're like, okay, that seems fine. And then next thing you know, it's not super simple at all. It takes up a huge amount of time.
Why
and
is
it
that?
Spreads over. It's just because I think there's like a mentality that like once we've retained you to do something that you're kind of on call, and like that isn't the case, so I haven't been doing like the freelance life for a little while. And I think that I kind of slipped up on minding my P's and Q's and like agreeing with people. Like I'm only working this amount of hours, this amount of drafts. My end date is this. And those are things that like I used to really be clear on, and I haven't been clear on some of the things that I've been working on. So I need to remember to do that in the future. So now I'm just kind of like limping across the finish line, trying to finish this handful of projects that like, it's like, it's fine. It's work. It's, and it's okay that it took a little longer. But I just need to finish now. And then I'm just like, working on my skincare line.
All right. What the fuck?
I don't really have a skincare line, but you know that I do like, I love science, and I love, like, I do actually have like a little kid has a chemistry set. I do like conduct chemical experiments. So I invented this like toner. I didn't invent. I used like my basic knowledge of chemistry to make a toner that I thought would correct some issues that I have with my skin. And so I'm testing it out, and my kids are testing it out, and no one's face has fallen off yet. And so,
How does
so
that work?
that's,
You use what? I don't get it. All right. Well, you let us know. You let us know.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it's going.
I can't wait.
Um,
what would you name the?
and if I
what
feel
would you
like-
name the brand?
Oh, that's I haven't even thought. I'm just into the science right now. I haven't even thought that far.
Okay,
I'm just
okay.
conducting my experiments and testing for safety and effectiveness.
Oh my God. Literally insane. Will you send it to me, please?
Yes, I will. I'll send you
Okay.
some. But you have to be careful because your face is like your moneymaker.
So sensitive.
Yeah.
But I'm almost done. I won't
do.
do it in the next 3 days. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, we should get going because you have overserved yourself, and you
Rude.
need to eat some.
You're like that waiter that was like, "You're good on drinks," like as a statement, not a question. And I was like, "Is this a question or a statement?" He's like, "You're good on drinks." I was like,
You're like,
"Sir?"
you're like Andy Cohen on New Year's Eve right now.
I am a little bit, but only because I haven't eaten anything hardly at all day.
You need like 3 more
And
turkey
also,
roll-ups.
I know, fuck that. Turkey rolls. By the way,
You need-
not for nothing, I have attempted to make sure that I'm not just eating turkey roll-ups on set.
Yeah.
But we were on location today, and then when you're on location, you're kind of fucked.
You don't really have a choice.
You really
But
kind of are fucked. You know what I mean?
we should let you go get some food.
I'm going to eat chicken.
There you go.
Yeah, great.
That's
A
what
chicken
you need.
schnitzel? Sure.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. I was
That
going to
sounds good.
suggest
That sounds good.
I was going to suggest nachos, but you got to be careful because you've had a bean skin incident already today.
That bean skin incident was harrowing.
And you
Almost
don't want to
as
tempt
harrowing when Katniss Everdeen had to. I don't even know, guys. I don't know. I was going to try to
Some
come up with
things.
something when Katniss
Something.
Everdeen something. Almost. And I have to be
guys-
back at work in less than 12 hours.
in less than 12
Goodbye.
hours.
It's only 2 more days. I
We
love you.
love
Goodbye.
you.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.